Hello, everybody. Welcome to Very Serious Battles, Episode 7. An episode that is hopefully better than last week. I didn't know what to call the title because I can't, name these officially until after the episode because we pull the titles from something that happens in the episode. But yeah, if you were here last week, the wheel, if you don't know what the wheel is, give it 10 minutes, you'll figure it out. The wheel just gave us really bad pairings up until the end, so hopefully the fate of the wheel will be more generous this week. And I also am going to be I'm going to vet the wheel submissions a little better, because I think that's one thing I need to be a bit more strict about, is being sure to pick wheel submissions that are going to be interesting. So we're going to watch that a little bit more this week. I'm going to see what I can do. But anyway, we will get to that in just a second because I got to set up a couple of things. But I'll, as is my usual strategy, I'll talk to you as I do it so that I can count it as content. Okay, let's see. Announcements as I go. The biggest announcement is we have the D & Dorks schedule locked down. If you don't know what D & Dorks is, don't worry about it, but I'm sure a lot of you are chomping at the bit to know what the schedule is. So we do have that locked down. And it's going to be weird for some of you. So we are actually recording the finale of D & Dorks, not D & Dorks, of Outlaws of the Seven. The finale of Outlaws of the Seven tomorrow. Now that's going to be weird for a lot of people, understandably. We are pre-recording the finale of Outlaws, and then I'm going to pull up my calendar so I can be sure I'm giving you these dates correctly. We are pre-recording the finale of Outlaws, and we are going to air it next Friday on October 29th. So October 29th is going to be the Outlaws of the Seven finale. Now, I admittedly don't know exactly how we're going to do that mechanically, but I think the way that we're going to do the Outlaws pre-recording is I am going to just stream it on Twitch, because that ensures that the formatting is going to be fine, and then download the VOD. Now, people are probably like, well, if you're streaming it on Twitch, why are you airing it on the 29th? What I think we're going to do is we are going to do a subscriber-only stream tomorrow of the finale. So what that does mean, by sort of proxy, is that if you sub to my channel, like today or tomorrow, you get access to the finale of Outlaws early. This is not intentional. It is just that I can't do private streams on Twitch because that wouldn't make sense. And the closest thing that I can do to a private stream is a subscriber-only stream. And again, we want to record it on Twitch so that the formatting is consistent. So that's a thing. I'm not going to advertise that heavily, but I will say it today. I am going to say that today. Also, do I say September? If I said October, I meant September. But yeah, that is going to be the case for Outlaws. If we see people spoiling it, we will ban you from all the stuff. If you spoil it in my Discord or the official D & Dorks Discord or the fan Discords, which we do see, we will ban you from all the stuff, because again, I don't really want to have the finale be available to a set of people, but that is kind of the only way we're going to do it. I think the time is also going to be a little bit earlier. I don't really want people watching, so it's not going to be advertised, but that is happening tomorrow, just so that people are decently aware. So, and I promise we'll get to actual battle stuff in just a second, but I want to go through this. If that's happening tomorrow, what is happening Friday? Friday, probably, it could change, but probably, we are doing a one-shot that is going to be DM'd by me in the same world. So I'm going to be stepping into the DM seat one more time until next month, where I will be stepping in multiple times. And I'm going to be DMing a one-shot in the Outlaws world. The reason I say maybe is because I've been trying to get guest slots for that, and it has not been working out, but I'm going to do my best. We'll see what I can do at short notice, so I'm going to try that, but probably a one-shot this Friday. Finale officially, same time, same place on the 29th. We just won't be interacting with chat because it'll be pre-recorded, and we have to do that because of last-minute scheduling issues that came up. So, does everyone get that? Everyone understand that? Ask any questions now, because this is the last stream I'm doing before that process begins. So ask those questions now as I set up my TikTok live. And then I will sort of get to other announcements as I wait for those. The only other thing that I really have to say is Canon Clash is coming back this Saturday. Canon Clash Season 2, Episode 3. Nikhil is actually coming back again. I wasn't going to have Nikhil guest host until later in the season, but then I had to impromptu plan a one-shot for Friday, which I didn't think I was going to have to do. And since Nikhil said he was willing to come back and guest host, I was like, hey, you want to come back this week and save me time on making questions? So Nikhil is going to be saving my ass and coming back this Saturday for Canon Clash. So, yes, that is the case there. Is the close stream tomorrow at the normal time? It is around the normal time. I'm not going to say yes or no because I think it is A, variable, and B, I'm also not encouraging people to watch. So, I'm not going to answer that directly. What is a D&D? And then Zapdos says disgust and depression. Yep, that's correct. Correct. That sounds right. All right, shut up. I don't care that my blood sugar's high. Sorry, if I seem stressed and frazzled, it's because I actively am. I am going into a very busy weekend with a lot of stressful nonsense, but I'm going to do my best. And hopefully the wheel will bless us with some good pairings because the judge is stressed today. Let me get my TikTok live going and then we will begin the actual question submissions or character submissions for tonight. I don't know how many we need, but I think we got through more battles than usual last week, if I remember correctly. It wasn't a good episode because the battles were just like quick and boring. But on the other hand, on the bright side of that, I guess I should say, that means we do have more slots available this week. What are some guidelines for submitting a character? Yeah, so I'm going to talk about that once I start, which I'm sorry this is delayed. I just had to get through the D&Dorks announcements. But yeah, I believe you pretty much nailed it. Okay. You want us to wait until it comes out officially. I am not going to tell you officially that you have to wait. I'm going to recommend it because mostly just the reason that I say don't watch the D&Dorks finale early is just because I want to minimize the odds of spoilers leaking. But that's it. It's not like, it's not like you'd be watching episodes out of order or anything like that. I just don't want spoilers. Okay, can I get this to... That's good enough. Okay, so let me grab the wheel here. And as I grab the wheel, I will explain how this is going to go. So, this is Very Serious Battles. For anyone who is new, which is probably not a lot of you, but for anyone who is new, this is something I've been doing for, 7 weeks now? This is episode 7, I believe. Pretty simple concept, really. We have a wheel. This wheel has characters on it. None of the characters are serious, as is kind of the main hallmark of this series. The characters are stupid and ridiculous and nonsense in one way or another. We have cartoon characters on here. We have like fast food mascots on here. All sorts of things. We are going to... wait, where's my gavel? It's always around here. I don't take it off my desk. And I always forget where exactly on my desk it's ended up. It's around here somewhere. I'll find it when the time arises. I feel like I just had it, and I don't know where it went. It's somewhere. I'll grab it. Anyway, I'm going to spin this wheel 2 times, and then we are going to, in an official courtroom setting, we are going to determine who of these 2 mighty combatants would win in a fight. So, first thing I'm going to do, as is the normal beginning for this episode, is we are going to, as a group, refresh this wheel up to 100 characters. So, I am going to go through, and I am going to remove every character that was on the wheel last week, or got rolled on the wheel last week, not on the wheel. And then we are going to add new ones. The way these work is when a character gets added to the wheel, they stay on the wheel until they are in a court case, at which point they get removed. Pretty simple. So take all these off. It's probably going to be in like the 70s, I think, like the mid 70s when I'm done removing all these. 76, nailed it. Okay, so I am now going to need from the audience 24 suggestions on what characters we want to add to the wheel. Agent Butcher says, can you turn R9K off? I have no idea what R9K is. I don't know what that means. Now, people are already suggesting things. I gotta say one more thing. There are rules. I'm gonna go over the rules before I start looking at character suggestions. So if you're typing them in now, they're invalid. You gotta wait till I go after the rules. So, we have, generally, sort of three, well, not really. Who cares about the number of rules? Rule number 1, nothing serious. This is not serious power scaling. This is largely making fun of power scaling. So if it's a character that people would take too seriously, not going to go on the wheel. That is the general rule. As I said, like kids show characters, fast food mascots, random nonsense like that, that's what we kind of go for here. Rule number 2, no anime. The reason that I rule out anime specifically is not that I actively dislike anime. I'm not a huge anime guy, but I don't have any hatred for it. But in my experience, the second you mention anime and power scaling in the same sentence, people start taking it way too seriously. So just to get that out of there with no anime characters, because I don't want to get into that. The sort of third rule, and this is going to be something that is a little bit different from last week. It's not really a rule and more of just a note. I'm going to be vetting them a little bit more this time because last episode we just got a bunch of really bad pairings that weren't interesting. And so I'm going to try to vet them personally as to like which ones I think are going to be more interesting beforehand. So now the rules have been gone over. Begin your questions. Oh, also, if they've been on the wheel before, I'm not going to put them on. But also, every episode of this is available on my YouTube. So if I say that the character's already... Oh! No real people. That's the rule I forgot. No real people. Because that just gets awkward very fast. Anyway, go. Alan Dracula. I will allow Alan Dracula. Sure. That's kind of stretching it, but I'll allow it. A Million Lions. Okay. Yeah, alright. Sure. 1 Million Lions. Get on there. Herbie the Sentient Volkswagen Beetle. Great. I'm going to put in Volkswagen because I'm going to see Herbie and my brain's going to jump to Fantastic Four. So I'm going to just add that in there. Okay, let's see. The Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters. Sure, I'll just put in Stay Puft Man. That's acceptable. Maggie Simpson. Does Maggie Simpson shot Mr. Burns, but does Maggie Simpson have abilities outside, or is it just a baby? The Miser Brothers from The Year Without a Santa Claus. That's great. I will put in both individually. Heat Miser and it's Snow Miser, yes? I haven't seen that movie in a while. I know the names don't, like, match. SWAT Cats. SWAT Cats sounds like the vibe that we're going for here, but I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, that looks about right. SWAT Cats. We need a bunch this week. We need 17 more. The Other Mother from Coraline. I feel like that's a little too serious. That's a good one, but I feel like that's a bit too much. Reagan Ridley from Inside Job. Inside Job? I mean, if we did Gravity Falls. Okay, alright. We'll do Reagan. I'll allow it. Also, in case you guys didn't know, or didn't notice this, if I know the character, it's more likely that they're going to get on the wheel. That's not really a rule. It's just a logical way that this works. Deathstroke from Teen Titans is definitely too serious. Generally, like, Teen Titans is going to be... like, Marvel or DC is generally an automatic no, because that's too close to, like, real power scaling. Let's see. Cliffhanger from Between the Lions is great, actually. Hell yeah. Hell yeah to that. The Vreedle Brothers from Ben 10. I'm also going to say Ben 10 is too serious. We did The Worst once, but that's because that's actively a bit within the show. Scrappy-Doo is solid. Also, I know people did point rewards. I'm going to get the wheels done, and then I'm going to go back and do any point rewards that happened. Because if I do explains during this, it delays everything. Scrappy-Doo is great. I will allow that. Scrappy-Doo. Zathura from the movie Zathura. Is Zathura a guy? I thought Zathura was the game. Is Zathura a dude? I feel like that's going to be hard to research. I'm going to rule out Zathura because I feel like that's going to be a hard one to research. Chef from Total Drama Island. Sure. I've never seen Total Drama Island, but I am generally aware of the tone of the show, and I think that's probably fair. Chef TI. Kronk we've done. Pinky and the Brain is already on there. Jolene from Dolly Parton's hit song Jolene? Don't think so. The Lunatics Unleashed. I like that. I'm gonna do the Lunatics versions of Bugs and Daffy individually, I think, because the Lunatics is a big team. So I googled it really quick while I was talking. Ace Bunny and Danger Duck is allowed. I know this is Marvel, but I think Stiltman would be fun. That you're not wrong that Stiltman would be fun, but I don't want to put Stiltman on there and then have a bunch of people start suggesting other Marvel characters and be like, you did Stiltman, because that's a slippery slope. You're not wrong that it would be funny. You're not wrong that it would be funny, though. Coconut Sam from Coconut Sam's Fruit Salad Island. What the hell is Coconut Sam's Fruit? Coconut Sam's Fruit Salad Island. This doesn't even come up when I Google it. It's Coconut Fred's Fruit Salad Island. Did I just misread it? No, it's who is Coconut? It's Coconut Fred. Sure, though. This seems like the tone that we're going for. Coconut Fred. Now my brain just wants to make Coco Goat jokes, but I don't know how many people in this would understand that. Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is on there. Can you add Rick and Morty to the do not scale list? I mean, there's not an official do not... There's not a banned list. I just won't put them on there. Ma and Pa, the Gravity Falls Ghosts. That's a great one, actually. That's a great one. I probably put too many Gravity Falls characters on this list, but screw it. This is my show. The Animaniacs. Also, I get Coco Goat. That was such a stupid quest, but I liked it. Astro Boy. I think Astro Boy's anime. There's some stuff that is not, but Astro Boy's anime. BMO. Does BMO have powers? I haven't seen Adventure Time. Have we put Courage the Cowardly Dog on? Almost certainly. There's no way we haven't, right? I wish I could like Control F search this, and I can't. There's no way that Courage the Cowardly Dog's not on here. That said, I'm not seeing it, and I don't remember... Oh, no, Courage. There he is. There he is. He's on there. He's on there. The Chickalisk from Amphibia. I need to catch up on Amphibia, and I don't want to spoil it for myself, so I'm not going to do that. Meatwad from ATHF. What is ATHF? Also, just a general rule, don't use acronyms because I might not know what they mean. Captain Toad. Captain Toad is good. Yeah, Captain Toad is fun. We need, what, 8 more? 8 more. You already did Bible Man last time. Just saw that he was still on there. Oh, is he? You're right. Thank you for pointing that out. Oh, because he was the last one, wasn't he? So I probably clicked off the wheel and never thought to actually remove him. The Magic Treehouse Kids are on here. I remember adding them last week. Hoodwinked Goat. Hoodwinked, I feel like, is going to be a tough one to research, so I don't really want to put Hoodwinked on there. The brothers from Over the Garden Wall. Love Over the Garden Wall. I feel like probably not the brothers, because they're just kids. They don't really have abilities. And in general, I've learned that putting people that don't really have abilities on here just kind of often makes the match not interesting. So, Inspector Gadget is solid. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that one's not on here already. The Waving Snail from Adventure Time. I don't know what that is. The Lich from Adventure Time is definitely way too serious. Madame Raz from She-Ra. Is She-Ra and the Princesses of Power too... I'm gonna say that's too close to standard superhero. I'm gonna say that's too serious. Good show. Great show even. I'm gonna say it's too good. Space Ghost. Incredibly, yes. In fact, actually, Space Ghost, And then I'm also gonna put in Zorak. Space Ghost and Zorak are both going in there. Twilight Sparkle, I'm scared to do that. I put Pinkie Pie in here once, and I don't want to do that. The Wheelman from last week. The Wheelman is just a man on one of those one-wheel things. Berry from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. Berry's just a fruit, right? You know what? I'll put in, Flint Lockwood. Took me a second to remember his name. I'll put in Flint Lockwood. That wasn't the request, but I'll put him in. I almost just spit out my water when someone said Zoom, played by Tim Allen. Oh my god. Zoom, Tim Allen. Yes. That is a garbage movie. And wow. This has become a change for the chat rather than actual suggestions. What do you mean? I don't know what that means. Pops from regular show. Okay, I feel like Pops is on the edge of too serious because of the end of that series, but I will allow it. We need 3 more. 3 more. The Fireside Girls from Phineas and Ferb. Fireside Girls do have notably enhanced skills, but they might be a little too low. Would Santa Claus break the no real people rule? You did put Santa Claus with an E, and so I am going to assume you are meaning Tim Allen Santa Claus, yes? Because I assume that because we just did Tim Allen. And sure, I will do... what's his name? What's his real name? I haven't seen those movies in so long. The last time I saw those movies, I accidentally cursed the entirety of Texas. Shoot, what's his name? It's Scott Calvin. I'll allow Scott Calvin. It's one of the weirdest ones they put on this list, but that's a pretty good one. The Hex Girls. Nah. Will I be able to contain myself from making jokes when we get to the Hex Girl? Curse the entirety of Texas. Yeah, okay, let me explain the curse the entirety of Texas thing really quick before we do the last 2. Actually, no. I'll do the last 2, and then I'll explain the curse the entirety of Texas thing while I look at channel point rewards. Hex Girls are normal people. I forget if they actually have magic or not. I forgot if they did or not. I know there was like a debate that they did, but I think it turned out that they didn't. Charlie the Giant Tuna from San... Okay, hold on. I mean, he has lore? Does he have lore? If he has lore, we'll do it. You know what? Screw it. I'll trust you. I'll trust you, Blizzard, but then if it's bad, it's your fault. Charlie the Tuna. 1 more. Turbo Teen. On the list it goes. Didn't like that. So there we go. Here's our wheel. If your character did not get on the wheel, we do this every week. So you can come back next Wednesday and maybe it'll get on then. Also, if your character is on the wheel and does not get rolled this week, again, they do not leave the wheel until they are rolled. So theoretically, everybody will eventually get on here. Some will get screwed over because the series will end one day, but... Anyway, let me pull up my interface to look at point rewards and I will explain why I cursed the entirety of Texas. And then people will definitely clip it, but it's okay because I'm aware of it this time. So, does anyone remember like 2 or 3 years ago? I forget which because I don't have a sense of linear time anymore. Does anyone remember when Texas got like the super bad blizzard? I have told the story on this channel before of how I had a pipe burst in my apartment and so I had to go stay at a friend's place for a couple days, and then while I was there a second pipe burst and so I had to move somewhere else. That is not a new story to this channel. I've told that one before. What I don't think I've said as much is the background of that story, which is that the night before that happened, literally the night before, me and my friends were just having like a Discord movie night where we were all doing like a watch party, and we much like this, we put a bunch of movies on a wheel and then spun the wheel to decide what we were going to watch. And someone, I don't remember who, put the Santa Claus starring Tim Allen 2, Santa Claus 2 specifically on the wheel, not the first one, Santa Claus 2, and that was what we rolled. And since we had all agreed on the sanctity of the wheel, we were like, all right, fine, we're gonna watch the Santa Claus 2. And because Tim Allen kind of sucks, we were all making fun of him throughout the whole movie. And at some point, I do not remember why I said this. I wish I remembered the context, but I do not remember the context. I did utter the dark cursed phrase, Daddy Tim Allen, at one point during that watch party, to which I got yelled at for hours. And then the following day, the entirety of Texas was cursed with a blizzard. So my bad for saying that one. Because I did say that dark phrase while watching the Santa Claus 2, and then literally 12 hours passed and all of Texas froze. So that one's on me. And now I cannot think of that series of movies even remotely seriously. Archie, which one do you think I said? Okay, let me do the point rewards and then we will get into the fights. Wooden Spoon Core, you did a shelf showcase a while ago. Do you have a specific like type of thing that you want, or just whatever? You just said it again. I'm not watching the movie. You have to say it while you're watching the movie for the curse to take effect. Anyway, as I'm waiting on Wooden Spoon Cores, let me search Modak, which is a name that I definitely remember. We're just going to put that one on the wheel and let that be an investment for later. We're just going to do that. That's how we're going to handle that one. Anything, I guess. Do I have any... I haven't gotten any new, like, physical stuff in a while, which is good for me, because money is annoying. Oh, shoot, I don't think to find my gavel. Hold on. I'll find my gavel as I'm looking for... There's my gavel. What do you show? I can't show the gavel. That's not a shelf showcase. That's part of the bit. What's fitting? I don't have any MODOK stuff. I really don't know. I'm drawing a blank. I'll just get my big D20 again. Why not? It caught my eye. Stuff in front of my display case that I don't want to just shove it over. This is my biggest D20. I've never actually rolled this thing in an actual game because I'm scared to. But this is my big D20. It's acrylic. It's weighted properly, amazingly. It's got like a portal in there. It's very nice. I like it. It cost a lot of money, but it was worth it. It lives in my display case now. There we go. Okay. All right. Let me pull up our court records, and then we will begin the first battle. 33 minutes in. That's pretty good for the wheel. Usually it takes us a while to get the wheel rolling. Where's the court records doc? There it is. Episode 7. Battle 1. Put this up where you guys can see it. It might not be centered, but I'll fix it as we go. Cat in the Hat might be on the wheel twice. I don't think so. I'll scroll through real quick. There's one. Oh, shoot, it is. Well, that fits, actually. I don't know how he got on there twice, but that fits because Modak took it up to 101, so it actually worked out. All right, cool. Let's go. Let's do this. We got Battle 1, Episode 7. Hopefully, this week's episodes and matchups will be much better than last time. Last week's was both a failure of the wheel and myself because it's my job to make them seem interesting. Anyway, court is in session. Our first battle, our first contender for our first battle, I should say, is... We'll find out in 5 seconds. I didn't time that very well. Eli Shane from Slugterra. Did it take me a second to remember what the name Eli Shane was from? Yes, yes it did. Did I get there in the end? Yes, yes I did. Eli Shane of Slugterra fame. Weird show. Also, we are going to be assuming, we'll get to this when we get there, but no, like standard kit. Standard, no like super exceptional stuff, just normal kit, normal ammo, normal slugs. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. You'll find out in a bit. All right, and Eli Shane, pretty good contender, actually. Pretty good contender, Eli. Eli is going to be going up against... Oh, boy. Oh, this is a... Okay. This feels like an episode of Slugterra. All right. We're starting out with a great pairing. One that we're actually going to have to think about. This is gonna, whoa, okay. All right, as is tradition, we're gonna look at the first contender first. So let me pull up the info that we need here. Eli Shane of Slugterra. Archie has actually summed up Slugterra pretty well, which is that Slugterra is Pokemon, but if Pokemon were bullets. Yep, that's where we're at. Let me format this on your screens a little bit better. That is also what I was getting at when I said that he is going to have his standard kit. Now, I admittedly don't know what that is. We're going to have to do some research to figure out exactly what Eli's quote-unquote standard kit would be. But that is our goal here, is we're going to assume he has the normal stuff that he would generally have in a standard episode. It's called Slugterra because of the slang slugs. With the amount of times I've talked about Slugterra on this channel, Amy, you'd think I would have realized that before now. How the hell did I not... Oh my god, yeah, that's... How did I not realize that it was slugs because of... Oh, okay, well... Okay. We can't spend time on that. That's a great point. Everything about this show I've learned against my will. It's a fine show. It's a fine... I need to go back and watch all of it, because I watched some. I don't think I've seen all of it. Anyway, the concept of Slugterra is that there is a world underground, the 99 Caverns, I guess it's called. I don't remember the specifics. And in the 99 Caverns, there are slugs and guns, special guns. And you put the slugs in these little tubes, and then you shoot the slugs out of the gun. Now, that doesn't sound incredibly interesting, but some things happen. Some things happen when you do this. Here we go. Burpee. This is the icon. This is the Pikachu of Slugterra, right? We're going to make Pokemon connections because this is a Pokemon style thing. So this is Burpee. He's just a little guy. Here's the thing about these slugs. When the slugs go fast enough, they transform into other things. There's got to... Can I show a... Okay, hold on. I'm going to try to find a Slugterra GIF. I've gotten busted before on copyright stuff for showing clips of cartoons before. But I can probably show you guys a GIF of the transformation, right? I don't think I'm going to get copyright struck for that. Let me... Because that is going to be important. But showing a GIF of how this sort of transformation goes, I think is going to be noteworthy. Come on, there's gotta be a decent GIF of the slugs transforming somewhere on the internet, right? I mean, I don't know where to find this, but... you know what? Okay, I can just find a video that's like 10 seconds long of them shooting something. Trust me, this is worth it. I know this is like a tangent with not great visual aids. I'm gonna mute this. I'm gonna mute the audio. I'm just gonna find the clip very quickly. There we go. Perfect. This is exactly what I needed. Okay, so, again, I'm just gonna show you like 30 seconds of, like 10 seconds of this so that you guys understand what we're dealing with here. So, he's got the two slugs. He's got the slugs loaded into his gun. They're cute little guys. He shoots the slugs, and they go fast, and they turn into big guys. And then, I guess they do like a combo move. I forgot that they could do that, but the point is that he shoots them and they turn into bigger guys. Are we all Are we all clear on the wild concept? The wild high concept pitch that is Slugterra. Are we good there? So, Eli is our contender, right? And when I said earlier, now I finally get to bring this back into the thing I was saying at the beginning. We are going to assume he has his normal slugs. So there is a whole, Eli's slugs. There's a whole article here. Now, he is the protagonist, so he's got a bunch, right? He's got a whole bunch of these. And I guess, does he just have all these at once? I actually don't know. It does say over the course of the franchise, he's collected 36 slugs. There's not, Pokemon 6 at a time rule in Slugterra, so we're going to just assume he has these. So these are all of the shots that he has. For, I think, fairness' sake, we are going to assume that he can fire each once. I do not remember exactly how the sort of ammo count works in this show, but we are going to just, I think we're going to say he fires each one once. And otherwise, he's just kind of like a cartoon, an action cartoon protagonist, right? He is probably a slightly more competent fighter than average, slightly better physicality than average, but that's about it. His main thing is he's just got his cool slug gun. He's got a slug gun. So, now, normally we would go through and we would do all of the info for all of the first contender right off the start, but I don't want to go through and look through all of these right now, because I don't want to spend time looking through 36 of them. So we're going to go and look at Shark Boy, and then we're going to compare which one of these might be relevant in the Shark Boy fight. Now, a question that we had to deal with when we got to Lava Girl last time, because we had both of these on here, is, are they the kid ones or the adult ones from the incredibly disappointing sequel, We Can Be Heroes? And we're going to say the kid ones because I don't want to acknowledge We Can Be Heroes. That's not a good movie. Let's see. So, Shark Boy, there we go. Shark Boy, and then in parentheses, child, otherwise known as Taylor Lautner. This is our other contender. Powers are basically just he's a shark, right? I haven't seen this movie in a while, but I do believe that his powers are essentially just shark. That said, with the rules of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, he might have other powers that are just sort of tacked on. So we'll have to see how this works. Powers should have a section, right? The history I know, he was raised by sharks. It's a raised by wolf thing, but sharks. Powers. This is just a summary of the movie. Here we go. Natural abilities. Due to his inhuman makeup, Terrigen Mist confirmed. His hearing, instincts, reflexes, agility, and speed are all advanced in comparison to a normal human. We are going to assume better than Eli. Again, Eli probably has slightly better feats, if we want to use that term, than an average human. We're just going to assume normal, though, for that whole bit. He has the ability to control sharks and other sea life, as well as talk to him. We assume that this is in a neutral space, so I'm going to say no sea life. He has no access to sea life, because that would give him a huge advantage. When he gets enraged or angered, he enters a mode called Shark Frenzy, where, it's just sort of a berserker state. He has a shark bike. Okay. Now, someone did also mention he does have electricity weakness. I was gonna get to this. Someone mentioned this earlier. I will say, though, I believe that he has electricity weakness just because he's in water. It's not that he's notably weak to electricity, it's just that he's not resistant to it. And if he's in water, that's going to be a problem, right? So the power is pretty... Oh, wait. Oh, now this is notable. I actually found this totally by accident. Water weakens Lava Girl while heat... Oh, wow. This is done. Okay. Heat causes Shark Boy to shrivel. He becomes weaker in hot environments. Eli's partner Pokemon essentially is a fire guy. Now, I am going to look through here. I'm curious if there are other fire guys that he has, because that does assume that he has to hit, right? But if he has, you know, more than one fire attack, which I believe he does. I don't know what all these do off the top of my head, by the way, but most of the names are pretty straightforward, so I can get an idea. And I am seeing one called Burner the Lava Lynx. Oh, yeah, that's a fire one. That's a fire slug for sure. Forge Smelter sounds like a fire slug. Yep, that one's weird looking. That's definitely a fire slug. Grenuke is a hell of a name. That's an explosion guy, it seemed. I'm going to call that... Oh, it shoots sparks. I'm going to say that that's probably fire-based enough. Blastipede. I think it's reasonable to assume that fire or explosions cause heat, right? Known abilities. Mine Blaster. Yeah, that's explosive. Okay, so, wow. This could have been more of a fight, because both of these characters have, like, enhanced abilities that are decently comparable. But if Shark Boy has a heat weakness, I just quickly skimmed the list of Eli's shots, and he has 5 different heat-based, at least 5 different heat-based characters. Even if we assume that the grenades are like just force grenades and not like fire grenades, like let's look through these. I mean, yeah, there's at least 5 different heat or explosion-based slugs, plus all of the others. Now, the fun thing about this, too, that makes this really easily in Eli's favor is one thing that we assume here, that we've always assumed, one of the cardinal rules of this court, is that we do not assume any knowledge. Eli would not have any way to know that Shark Boy's weakness is heat. But Burpee is his partner Pokemon. It's not even reasonable. It's basically a guarantee that he would use a heat attack, and when that works, it's like, oh shoot, heat-based attacks are effective, so I'm going to use others. I mean, this is a total counterplay. Eli counters Shark Boy so easily because the knowledge, not even needed. Not even needed. Yeah, Burpee's one of his first shots most of the time. Exactly. He fires off a heat attack, that works, and then another heat attack is viable. Even with, he has 36 slugs, 5 of them are fire-based. Even if he doesn't use Burpee first or Burpee misses, it's reasonable that he would use another one. So, this was a fight that I thought was going to be a lot harder to determine because, again, they are both, like, superhero-esque characters, but Eli has total counterplay here. So, the court rules in favor of Shane. Does Shark Boy have a last name? Probably, but I don't think we know it. So I guess Shane v. Boy, in the case of Shane v. Boy, Eli Shane takes the easy victory. Someone also asks, what are the battles so far? Which this was the first one. First one, you didn't miss much. Someone also says, look at Buzzsaw the Slug. I will not look at all the slugs because that would take a while, but I'll look at one of them, sure. Buzzsaw the Thresher. Okay. This a guy. Oh, it's a shark? Is it a shark guy? Okay. Yeah. Eli wins this. Eli wins this very easily with that counterplay. That is such a good counter. I'm actually blown away by how clear that is. Just because, yeah, it's like fire-based is his main. He's gonna use... He has access to the weakness, and he's going to figure it out. Eli clears this. And now we move on to Battle 2. Now we move on to Battle 2, starting with... I do not remember who this is. I put it on the wheel, so clearly I vetted this at some point. Hold on, we're going to Google this now. Dr. Colosso. That gives me... Okay, I spelled it wrong. That explains it. Yeah, oh, the rabbit! Right. The rabbit. Also, I accidentally typed in Dr. Dolasso. I did a D instead of a C. And the first result that came up was LinkedIn, like the Philippines website for LinkedIn. And it was a real doctor. I was like, why did I put this on there? But that makes sense. Okay, so Dr. Colosso. You don't know who this is? Don't worry, you'll find out. It's from a TV show that I am aware of but have not seen. So we'll do the research together. Dr. Colosso versus Spin that wheel. Versus Cliffhanger, another new one from this episode. I don't know why I said another new one. That's the first new one from this episode, but that's fine. Cliffhanger, low power bar, stronger than normal human, but low power bar overall. So we are going to. Sorry, I'm trying to get this full screen for you here. There we go. Dr. Colosso first, as is tradition. Dr. Colosso is from a Nickelodeon show. I think Nickelodeon, right? Probably. From a Nickelodeon show called The Thundermans. He is the main villain of the show, according to this wiki. I have not seen the show, so I'm just going to trust it. Also, he's a rabbit. He was a human guy, and then he got turned into a bunny rabbit. I like how it says bunny/rabbit here, which is very funny. Now, he does have powers, and I believe also enhanced intelligence. Let's confirm this now. Oh, maybe just intelligence. Dr. Colosso is very intelligent. He often assists Max with his various experiments. During his supervillain career, was able to build various advanced gadgets, including the Animalizer and the dancing shoes. Okay, one of those sounds a little bit more intimidating than the other. Dr. Colosso is also a skilled manipulator and is also an excellent DJ. Okay. Is also incredibly stealthy. He often shows up unexpectedly in various places with no one noticing until he reveals his presence. Now, I feel like that's probably a running bit of the show, rather than an intentional power, is that this bunny just appears places, but we're going to allow it. Now, notably, it says here he was formerly one of the strongest supervillains until he was turned into a rabbit. I am curious if he had powers in his human form, and also how he got turned into a rabbit. I feel like those are both interesting things. Shout out to the fire department. The Animalizer. I probably should have figured that one out. So the Animalizer just turns humans into animals, and then he gets used against him, and he uses it a lot. Apparently, he turns a guy into a rat, and he turns into a bunny, and that I don't want to read all these. Okay, so. Does he have powers before? I'm thinking this might be a little bit lower in power ranking than I thought. I saw Thundermans and I knew they were superheroes, and I thought, oh, maybe this was going to be fine because this was weeks ago. Seems like it's kind of just a smart rabbit, which is not great for what I understand. Because, like, even if he made gadgets when he was a human, he doesn't have thumbs now, so I feel like that's a bit limiting. Want to check out more Dr. Colosso pictures? No, I don't actually. Who's he fighting? I already forgot. Cliffhanger! Yeah, funny enough, Cliffhanger, one of the weakest characters on this list. I'm gonna have to search Cliffhanger between the lines, aren't I? Because that's like a guy. One of the weakest characters on this list, probably going to win because the rabbit. So, Cliffhanger, if you guys don't know who that is a PBS Kids character. PBS Kids, a recurring character source on this series. He is from Between the Lions, and he's kind of just a guy who's hanging from a cliff, and he tries to escape, and he's not very good at that. In a bunch of other episodes. His main ability is that he hangs off this cliff for a really, 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 really long time. That is basically all that he's got. I put him on this list fully as a bit, but he definitely has some level of enhanced strength because he is able to do this for like days, weeks. He also does have the backpack with the survival manual. He's got a backpack full of stuff. But yeah, he's just kind of a strong guy. I think the question of this does matter. The question of what was that? That was not a sentence in the correct way. I'm not sure what this is. So the Between the Lions wiki copied their formatting from another wiki and didn't finish it, huh? It didn't, I wonder what wiki they copied their formatting from. Think that hold on, quick tangent here. Do all of them have this? Oh, no, this is entirely different wiki format. What about click the mouse? This is also an entirely different format. Are all of these pages in different formats? Lenny Lizard. Yes. Yes, they are. Why is Cliffhanger so much more in depth? Where did they get this from? Okay, we can't worry too much about that. Yeah, I mean, he auto-clears. He's apparently level 1,000,000, which is something. Where did this come from? Because, like, health and faction are not... Health and faction are just there, which they're placeholders. That's why I assume that someone copied this. But why does it say 1,000,000? Okay, whatever. I mean, do we take... I feel like this is... I don't want to do another mistrial. No, that's not mistrial worthy, but... There's another... Hold on. Reasons for an objection in court. There's a word I'm looking for, and I'm blanking on it. What are the 3 types of objections? Hearsay, leading, and relevancy. I think that would be hearsay. That could be here. Relevance, unfair, prejudicial, it's hard to say. Leading question, compound question, argumentative, asked and answered, vague, foundation issues, non-responsive. This is so much more than... Oh, speculation. Speculation. Opinion and hearsay. Yeah, so I think this would be objection hearsay in this case. Objection hearsay for Cliffhanger being level 1,000,000. According to Happy Birthday Cliffhanger, his watch calendar points to his birthday being February 10th. In the same sketch, we see 13 candles on his cake. Although this might not mean anything, it could also mean Cliff is 13 years old. Some Jotaro Kujo vibes there. So... Yeah, this is not an interesting one. This one is not a good pairing. There's enough nonsense with the wiki that I've made this as entertaining for as long as I think I can. Cliffhanger level 1,000,000 is definitely a possible episode title. I hope we get a better one later, but it's definitely on the list. I think that this man is strong enough to support his body weight by hanging one-handed off a branch for days. I think he can kill a rabbit. Sorry, Dr. Colosso, but this fight isn't that interesting. Whoops. This fight's not that interesting. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna rule. The court rules in favor of Hanger. In the case of Colosso v. Hanger, court rules in favor of Hanger because of that. Or despite that objective hearsay, speculation, whatever I called it. I don't care. I'm the judge. I don't have to know these things. Battle 3. Battle 3. On we go. We're going at a fast rate today. Dang. Dareth from Ninjago. Is this the brown ninja? I believe that Dareth is the brown ninja, yes? I saw someone say brown ninja when we were doing submissions, and I believe that was the case. We're going to find out if I'm wrong. Okay, brown ninja, I think, probably. I will confirm that in a minute. Versus... Now, why did I allow Magikarp on here? I will spell it correctly on the official court records, don't worry. Magikarp. This is gonna be... This is gonna be an interesting one. Okay, Ninjago, Dareth, the brown ninja. Weirdly, I think Dareth, the brown ninja, is a decently low power level. Yes, I think, maybe, possibly. I don't know these things. We're gonna find out. Dareth, also known as Grand Sensei Dareth, or the Brown Ninja, is a laid-back, self-proclaimed karate master who owns Laffy's, which is a karaoke club. Okay, not what I was expecting. Powers. Man, I forgot. Ninjago is wild, dude. Does he get powers? I feel like this is one of those characters who, like, doesn't do anything, but given what I know about Ninjago and the tone of this show, I also feel like it's very viable that this is the type of character who, like, starts off useless and actually does get powers later. This is such a long list of every episode that he is in, and I am not seeing a powers section. Why did I just looked at the table of contents? Okay. Oh, that's because the table of contents sucks. I mean, it's actually good, but it's just annoyingly set up here. Well, I was hoping I would see some sort of powers section, but it is possible that he just doesn't have powers. Let me check this. Species, affiliation, homeworld, occupation, first appearance, latest opinion, late appearance, status, family, and voiced by. He's just a guy. He gets the power of brown and has to use the bathroom every time he does. I, for the life of me, cannot tell whether that's a joke. Oh, he gains powers. He gains powers. I actually have found this. Wow. Okay. Brown power. God. Brown power was a fake element. There's so many jokes I could make, and none of them are good. Was a fake elemental power used by Dareth drinking a large pot of mistake. Only Warlord Disguise doesn't have. Okay, whatever. Brown flame generation, and then he has a massive urge to go to the bathroom. You know what, Ninjago? I'm gonna take umbrage, Ninjago Wiki, with what you just said here. After using the ability, the user has a massive urge to go to the bathroom, but it says urge to urinate. At risk of being a little too crass for the court, it's called brown power. I don't think that's what's happening. I don't think that is what the urge is to do. I do believe that the urge is to take a shit. Probably not urinate. Anyway, so this is not help. So I feel like Magikarp actually might have something. Magikarp is what moves? See, Pokemon is easy because I literally can just look at the moves that they have. I can literally just look at the move and with yes, before people start yelling at me, I know how Magikarp works with this, but I'm doing this for the bit. Let's see. Pokedex entry. I don't know how this wiki's formatted, so maybe this is Shy Games stats. Here we go. Here we go. Splash, tackle, and flail. I just had a thought. Okay, this was going to be very important. This was going to be very important. If any of the types that Magikarp was weak or resistant to were... Wait, no, hold on. How stupid do we want to be on this show? That's the question. How dumb do we want to be? Because the answer is always dumb. Hold on. I got something I need to look at here. Here we go. Now I do believe, and this is very dumb. I do believe this is dumb. Water is super effective again. Well, no, you know what? Never mind. Here's my line of thinking, and then I'll explain why I shut myself down midway. I was going to do a bit in which water is super effective against rock, which is the brown Pokemon type, or one of the brown Pokemon types. But doesn't actually matter because Magikarp doesn't learn any water moves. So it kind of became an irrelevancy. But that was the line of thinking that I was going with, but it did not matter. Magikarp does three things. It does Splash, Tackle, and Flail. One of those does damage, and that's Tackle. Right? Flail has like a chance to do damage, right? Or am I thinking of something? I'm thinking of Struggle. I don't remember. So would Dareth getting tackled by a fish make him lose? I am inclined, from the tone that I understand Ninjago often takes, to say that Dareth getting repeatedly slapped by a fish would probably make him lose. I do think... How big is Magikarp? That's a great question. I'm going to say at least like a foot and a half. Dear Lord, that cannot be the standard. Okay, these are very different. You can't actually see these. Magikarp. Height, 2 feet 11 inches? Now, okay, I will say this. I don't know how Pokemon defines height, because Magikarp is longer than it is tall, and 3 feet tall would be like 5 feet wide, or long, which I don't think is what Magikarp is. But if we even assume that Magikarp is about 3 feet long, that's like getting slapped by like a full-size tuna, right? I think that if you get slapped by a fish that's half your size repeatedly, how many times? Wait. This is it. We can get way too technical. I gotta scroll all the way back down to the move list. 15. No, that's a level, that's not PP. 35! Can Dareth survive getting slapped by a 3-foot fish 35 times? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say at the very least, if I got slapped by a fish 35 times, personally, I would leave. I would give up. I think amazingly, against all odds, I think Magikarp is gonna win. I know Magikarp, guys, I know Magikarp can go over mountains. It's based on that myth about the fish that jumps over the mountain and turns into a dragon. And that's why people think that Dragonite is supposed to be the Magikarp evolution instead of Gyarados, and they're flipped, which I think is very viable. I fully believe that theory. And that they switched it in production. Regardless of that. That doesn't even matter. Dareth gets slapped by a 3-foot fish 35 times and dies. I can't believe Magikarp won. How did Magikarp win a fight? Congratulations to Magikarp. Just a Magikarp. Just your average Magikarp. The court rules in favor of... I was going to say the court rules in favor of Carp, but I guess it would just be Magikarp. It's not like its name is Magi Space Carp. The court rules in favor of Magikarp. That was a very satisfying thunk. That was a great one. I need to hit on the edge of this box more often. Okay. Explaining character badly, chair. Okay. I'm going to assume that this is a Marvel thing. Chair. From the humor what the heck? The item called chair was an inanimate object. Nevertheless, the testosterone-overloaded superhero Crowbar treated Chair as an old friend and gave it a place in his superhero team. Luna, are you telling me that bullshit I pulled on Cannon Clash was a real thing? That was... I can't believe that the bullshit I pulled in Cannon Clash was real. That's... I'm so mad. I'm so mad that was real. We gotta move on. That was real? That's why I voted yes and no, I just made that up 10 minutes before the episode started. Oh my god. We gotta do the next fight. Spin the wheel. Gotta go refill my my water soon. Herbie, the Volkswagen specifically, not the Fantastic Four one. Now, I do know that Herbie is basically just a living car or a sentient car. I do not know what, if any, powers, or I guess I should say... I checked the alias section, Luna. It's a hell of a section. We're going to look up what powers, if any, Herbie is afforded, but we'll find that out in a second. Let's roll to see who's fighting first. Oh, God, please let him fight Turbo Team. That would be great. And there's a non-zero chance. I would argue that's better. I would actually argue that's better, Saint. Okay, you know what? We are going to... I know it's a little bit early. But I'm going to take my bathroom break now, mostly because I want to fill my water, and because the rant I'm about to go on, the tangent I'm about to go on with Zoom Tim Allen is not short. And that is enough of a hook to keep you guys interested, I think. So, I'm going to go to my bathroom break really quick now. Fitting after Brown Ninja, I guess. I'm going to go use the Brown Power, and I will be back in a couple minutes, and we will do this this Carr versus Tim Allen fight. Yo, just FYI, it's gonna be like another couple minutes because I just ate food and then remembered that my diabetes machine is out of diabetes juice. So I gotta go fix that. And I'll be back in a second. Don't go anywhere. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for the extended court recess. I had to push buttons on the machine so that I didn't feel absolutely awful for the rest of the night. Okay. Let me see what I missed. His diabetes machine is out of diabetes juice. I mean, I could say that my Omnipod is out of insulin, but that's not funny. He's running to the bodega down the street. Yeah, I'm running to the bodega down the street to get some insulin from the guy that... I didn't tell you guys this. This is kind of funny. So there are 2 convenience stores near me, right? There are 2 convenience stores within walking distance of where I live. One of them is new and is very nice. It's basically like a mini grocery store. Like, they have snacks and drinks and stuff, but they also have like paper towels and toilet paper and like eggs and milk and things. It's extremely helpful. It's more like a bodega than anything else. The other one that's about a block down is half full of slot machines, and the guys at the counter try to upsell you on vape juice when you buy stuff. Guess which one of the 2 has my favorite drinks in stock? Give you a hint. Only one of these answers is funny, and I would only be telling the story if the answer was funny. So... and yes, I know there are point rewards. Let me look at those. Explain a character badly, Big Mother. Do I want to make a joke of that variety? Also, yes, I have a cheese stick. I'm hungry, I don't care. I'll do another one while I decide the energy that I want to bring in. Millie Collins. Explain badly, Millie Collins. Technically canon. Technically still canon is the only thing I can say about Millie that's viable. That's all I have. Yo, can I have pizza rolls? You can have whatever you want. I don't care. I'm not giving you any, but have whatever you want. I don't care. Have you ever mixed the vape juice they upsold you into your drink? No, but I was buying my drink and the guy was like, "You vape, bro?" And I was like, "No, not really." He goes, "You know anyone that does?" I'm like, "Nope." That's weird. Okay, let's see. Do I want to... You know what? I would make a mommy joke if Big Mother didn't look like that. And honestly, that's all the bit I need. That's all the bit I need. I could make a better one, but I don't want to spend the time. I don't want to spend the time. Anyway, I've now had food, and I'm not going to die of diabetes. So, Herbie Volkswagen? Is that just what I Googled for this? Yeah. Herbie the Love Bug is a sentient, semi-anthropomorphic 1963 Volkswagen Beetle who's been featured in several Walt Disney motion pictures, starting with the 1969 feature film The Love Bug. The fact that it was made in 1969 and it's called The Love Bug is low-hanging fruit, and I will not be making jokes about it. Pull this up here. You don't know what Herbie is? It's a car, and it says 53. I'm not sure why that is the case, but we're maybe going to find out. Let's see. He has a mind of his own, is capable of driving himself, and is often a serious contender in auto racing competitions. So, a fast, sentient car. Is that it? Wow, there's a lot more of these movies than I thought. The Love Bug, Herbie Rides Again, Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo, Herbie Goes Bananas, The Love Bug, which I'm assuming is a reboot. It's also a TV film. And Herbie Fully Loaded, which is the only one that I've heard of, like directly, which makes sense because it's the only one that I was alive for. Herbie Fully Loaded is a 2005 American sports comedy film. Herbie is decommissioned and towed to a junkyard after losing several races. And then he dies, and that's the end of the movie. They crush him into a cube. So is he just a car that... I was wondering if this would be sort of an Inspector Gadget situation where he had, like, stuff. But it does kind of seem like Herbie is just a car that drives himself fast, which is not great. for the purposes of this, I guess I should check. I'll really quick check the plot summaries of the other movies, see if anything weird is here. That's part remake, so that seems about the same. Herbie Goes Bananas. I feel like if any of them are going to have weird powers, it's going to be Herbie Goes Bananas. Stealing gold from... Okay, so this is about stealing gold from Mexico, which is not what I thought it was going to be from the name. Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo is probably just more races, I guess. Okay, so Herbie, just a car that go fast. Funny enough, against... I almost knocked my full drink over. Dear Lord, I'm going to put that there. Okay, against a super speed character, a speedster. Tim Allen, Zoom. Now, if you guys don't know what Zoom is, it's bad. It's really all... I mean, that's not all I have to say. Believe me, I have more to say. It is a superhero movie. I don't know how reliable this wiki is, but we're just going to use this for now. Actually, no, this wiki seems bad, but regardless. It is a very, 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 very bad superhero movie starring Tim Allen as a disgruntled old speedster training the, younger generation of superheroes. It is a... I actually don't know. Is this a Disney movie? This poster's too blurry for me to see. Hold on. Zoom movie. Is this Disney? It's on Hulu, which makes me think it probably is. Come on. I just want to see if it's a Disney movie. This is becoming not worth the time for the... Okay, it's a movie. I don't care enough to dig into this more. Anyway, because it is a kids superhero movie from 2005, it's not good. It's, the powers that some of the kids... There's some that are good, right? Like the girl character has, like, telekinesis, which, is a power. It's not Jean Grey. Definitely not that. There's the edgy teen boy who can turn invisible. There's the little girl with super strength who likes princesses and pink and sparkly things, but she's actually really strong because that's an archetype that we've never seen before. And then there's the kid who can inflate parts of his body and make them big and strong, and then he uses that on his butt, and so he gets a really big butt. And isn't that funny? Doesn't that make you just chuckle as you're watching this funny movie with Tim Allen making fart jokes? Isn't it such a good funny movie? Yeah, it's worse Sky High. We need to put some Sky High characters in this wheel. I'm amazed we haven't done that yet. Next week for sure. But yeah, you say 2005 kids superhero movie like Sky High didn't come out in 2005. Zapdos, Sky High is an exception. Sky High rules. But we're all aware that Sky High is an exception to the genre, right? It's not like it is the one good child of this horrible era. Also, this is apparently 2006, not 2005, which I don't know why I read 2005. Regardless, Sky High. I forgot Sky High existed. That movie was my entire childhood. That movie is amazing. No, that movie rules. That was a fantastic movie. Anyway, Zoom is what we're doing here. We don't need to worry about the other guys. Now, Zoom originally doesn't have powers at the start of the movie. He was a superhero who lost his powers, and he gets his powers back at the end of the movie. We are going to assume that this is Zoom at the end of the movie with his abilities, because while it would be funny to watch Herbie run over Tim Allen, I'm tempted to end the case there, but I'm not going to. We're going to make this a real thing and not just have that. We did do War and Peace first episode. Well, we need more Sky High characters. Anyway, Zoom just has super speed. That's his only thing. He has super speed, and he's not very good at stuff. I wonder, is there like any sort of example of how fast he can go? There's got to be some example here, because this wiki is bad. This is Superhero Films Wiki. I have no idea what this is. Unfortunately, it kind of does seem like this is the only wiki that we have. There's a TV tropes article. Maybe that'll be helpful. Let's see. No, that's just a list of all the tropes that are in it. I was hoping there would be something else good. Please just have Herbie commit vehicular manslaughter. I am considering it, right? Because what we're working with here, and I'll pull up a better visual aid so that you guys have something to look at while I'm talking, because I don't have a lot of like info to gain. Let's see. We'll just do the poster. But a high-res version of the poster, not whatever this nonsense is. There we go. The Zoom. The Zoom starring Tim Allen. What we're dealing with here, powers-wise, is... I definitely think that Zoom is faster. Mr. Tim Allen is faster than Herbie the car. But, I mean, it is a car, right? Zoom does not have super strength. Now, if The Flash has taught us anything, it's that Ezra Miller probably shouldn't have been in that movie, but if The Flash has taught us another thing, it's that super speed and super strength do have a correlation, right? But is Zoom fast enough to beat up a car? Because Herbie does not have enhanced durability, right? And I don't believe Zoom has any other powers other than go fast and be Tim Allen. the donkey Tim Allen. And where? That's a very weird reference, but I'm sure at least one person got that. Does Zoom have enough power to beat up a car? I really don't. Yeah, I don't want him to win. I don't want him. Zoom is a low-level speedster, struggles to make a vortex. Yeah, but he does do it. He does do it is the thing. He does do it. Do we consider being Tim Allen a superpower? Superpowers don't have to be good. Put Zoom on the wheel and say Herbie just commits vehicular manslaughter. I mean, I hope so. Of Zoom, I'm not encouraging running over Tim Allen with a car. I am encouraging running over this fictional character with a car, because that's not something I'm legally liable for. But there's an episode title somewhere in there. I really don't want Zoom to win. I wish we had more information. I wish we had more information about what this guy can do, but you're right. He struggles to make like a tornado. So I think he's gonna have trouble with beating up a car. I also don't think he's smart enough to like dismantle a car. If he gets a 10mm socket, Herbie's done. Yeah, but like, I don't think... Wait, actually, where do we see Zoom at the beginning of the movie? What is he doing at the beginning of the movie? He's doing something. And knowing the tropes of this series, it is so possible that he's like a mechanic now. Is that a thing? He finds himself dragged back into the product. Dragged back into the product from where? Because I am remembering now, there is a non-zero chance that he is a mechanic at the start of the movie. Because that's just the trope that this does. Okay, let's see. Recruiting a reluctant... I'm looking at the plot summary on Wikipedia here. And it just says they recruit a, quote, reluctant Zoom. Which doesn't help. Shoot, this is important. This is an important piece of evidence that we need. What other... Where would I even find this information? Where would I even find this info? I don't know. Wow, this has a lot of Smash Mouth in the soundtrack. Sorry, that was a little bit of a tangent, but it's viable. It's a viable piece of evidence. Hey, Amy? Can I recruit you to do something very stupid for me here? Zoom is on Hulu. Can Pirate the Movie watch on stream? You do know that I will get in trouble for that, right? Amy, you have Hulu, right? If you still have Hulu, can you pull up Zoom Academy for Superheroes on Hulu and just like scrub through the first 10 minutes? Do you not still have the login? Oh no, my browser like reset all my stuff and I don't have that. If you want to give it to me again, I will accept it, but I wasn't going to ask because I don't know why. I just thought it felt rude. Also, even if I mean, I could do it and just not show you guys. I will DM it to you. Okay, cool. All right, thank you, Amy. We're gonna get Amy's. Hold on, let me pull Hulu up on the screen so everyone can see Amy's login. No, I am gonna watch this right now. I think this is important evidence. I'm not gonna show you guys because that will get me in legal trouble. But I will let you look at Tim Allen's face on this movie poster while I do my own independent research, and of course I'll talk because that is my job. Let's see. So once I get that, I'll do my due diligence. This is a serious courtroom. Found a wiki that confirms it. Found a wiki that confirms what? Dintmint. That confirms what? Confirms his job? Either way, I want this login, so I'm gonna wait until we're gonna figure this out. At least pull up Big Mother. No, I don't need that. Captain Zoom was a mechanic. Oh, I forgot his name was Captain Zoom. I forgot his name was... That's not relevant information, but... Captain Zoom... Tim Allen... What wiki did you find? Oh, Heroes Wiki. Is it this? Is it this? Hold on, I might have actually found it. 30 years later. 30 years after the events who caused him to lose his powers, Jack became a very bitter man who worked at a small auto repair shop. Okay, you know what? I'm glad that we as a legal entity did our research, because that does confirm Captain Zoom, Tim Allen, would have the necessary knowledge to dismantle a car. So unfortunately, I do think that the court is going to have to rule in favor of... What's his real name? Shepard. In the case of Herbie v. Shepard, Volkswagen v. Shepard? I don't care. The court rules in favor, with apologies, of Shepard. He can dismantle. Yeah, Tim Allen hard counters car. Tim Allen hard counters car might be... That could be a pretty good episode title. Tim Allen hard counters cars is a solid episode title, actually. That might be my case. Yeah, Herbie gets dismantled at super speed. I hate that. Herbie is faster. He's a race car. Zoom is a speedster. What are you talking about? No, Zoom is a speedster. At the very least, their powers are comparable in speed, and if Zoom has the ability to dismantle him, that's going to be enough. So yeah, with a heavy heart, and with a heavy heart but a good episode title, the court rules in favor of Tim Allen. I mean Zoom. 40 to 72 miles per hour is the slowest thing to be a tornado, and Herbie is a 90 mile per hour car. But like, we have to take into account acceleration. Also, I don't think we can rely on the scientific numerical accuracy of Zoom Academy for Heroes. I am going to rule in favor of Zoom. I don't like it. But I do think that's the case that we're going to have to do. Unfortunately, I did get the DM, Amy. Thank you. I will add that later. But at the moment, we did find the information. All right. I'm not happy with it, but it was at least interesting. Let's move on to a battle that will hopefully be less tragic to me personally. Mystery Incorporated. The entirety of Mystery Incorporated. We'll answer that question right away. I know generally, like, that would be a lot, right? That would be a lot for one contender. But Mystery Inc.'s power level, generally pretty low. I want to address two things before we roll their competitor. One, I know there are some weird things where, like, Scooby sometimes is magic. Not gonna worry about that. Two, we are not doing Shaggy jokes. This is not Shaggy at 1% of his power. This is canon. This is serious. It's in the name. Very serious battles. No Scrappy. This is standard roster, so that would be Fred, Daphne, Velma, Shaggy, Scooby. That's all of them, right? Fred, Daphne, Velma, Shaggy. Yeah, okay. If I forgot one, that was going to be really embarrassing. I think I got it. Mystery Inc. Also, just for... Do we have to worry about, like, which iteration? Their powers are pretty much always the same unless we're doing some sort of weird Scooby magic. Prep time for Fred traps. We'll determine that in a second, but I'm also going to note, I don't think Fred really needs prep time for traps. Like, it's kind of a bit that they do that off the cuff very, very quickly. So I think we're going to assume a little bit of, like, Toon Force in Fred's trap making abilities. And also, sure, they do have access to the Mystery Machine. It is the Core 5 and the Mystery Machine. That is what we're dealing with here. So let's see who they're up against. This could be a tougher one, or they could get, like, stomped on instantaneously. So this is going to be interesting. I've also just noticed that Toad and Captain Toad are both on here individually, which is going to be something that we'll have to deal with later. Does Miss Piggy have any level of supernatural ability? Gotta be something, right? Gotta be something. We're actually going to look her up first. Mostly because I don't think Mystery Inc. is going to take a lot of research. I think the Mystery Inc. gang is... The Mystery Gang, as they're literally called. I think we all pretty much have a good understanding of, like, what the Mystery Gang is. I don't think that one's going to take a lot of research, because we're also not going to... Anything where they get powers is very much like an edge case. So we're not going to worry about edge cases. That's one of the biggest differences between this show and serious power scaling, is here, in very serious battles, we understand what an edge case is. Anyway, let's look up Miss Piggy. See what sort of nonsense she has done in the past. There's definitely something. Daphne versus Miss Piggy goes hard. Yes, that is also true. That is also very true. Oh, this is just the Disney website. That is not what I wanted. I wanted the Disney Wiki. Muppets Wiki is also acceptable. Here we go. We have her here rocking that Emma Frost Hellfire Gala fit. Not centered. Hold on. I put that on the wrong tab. God, the formatting for this is so annoying. It'd be better if I actually had a real computer, right? Can't afford that now, though. Okay. Miss Piggy is one of the central characters on The Muppet Show. She is a force of nature. It's a hell of a second sentence. Who developed from a one-joke running gag into a complex three-dimensional character. Okay. Now she does have some level of combat ability. It is a running gag. Oh, Miss Piggy's talents. I'm just going to cut myself off there. We're going to look at the direct sources. Miss Piggy considers herself a dramatic actress and a great singer, but she has other talents too, besides karate. Pet peeve of mine is when these wikis are written in like blurb tone. This is an informational website. You don't need to be cheeky and be like, Miss Piggy considers herself a dramatic actress, but you're not writing an essay. Give me the info. Anyway, karate. Karate is an important thing. Miss Piggy proves to be great at bending metal bars. For example, I do like that they cited their sources here, so points back for that. In The Great Muppet Caper, she bent back the jail bars, and in The Muppets Take Manhattan, she was able to bend a metal bar. Sorry, I dropped my water thing there. Anyway, that's... Okay. Now that is a bit of a... I wasn't expecting... I knew karate. I knew... These images are also, like, not what I was expecting from Miss Piggy. I probably what I should have expected, but... Okay, so she's a martial artist with the strength to bend metal bars. That's notable. There are so many of these Miss Piggy, like, photo shoots. I have not seen a lot of Muppet stuff. I know enough of, like, the general idea of each character. I've seen some, but I haven't seen a lot. So I am actually... I am genuinely surprised by the amount of these. Y'all are assuming that Daphne has her martial arts skills from the live action. We haven't established that. Oh, yeah, this is not the live action Scooby-Doo, by the way. No way I'm doing the live action Scooby. This is definitely animated Scooby. We're going to look at Daphne's martial arts skills in that, but the live action is very different in a lot of ways. So, that's a great little segue. Mystery Inc. I need to stop like pressing in the top of this water bottle because it's making popping sounds that are probably very loud on your screen. Why did I just Google Mystery Inc? That was the wrong Google search. I need to Google Scooby-Doo Wiki. That's what needs to happen here. Scooby-Doo, yeah, this is going to be a good wiki. No way this wiki is not thorough and accurate, right? Scooby-Doo's got a big enough fan base. This is going to be a good one. Also, why is my stuff not lagging when I change tabs today? Not that I'm complaining, but anyway. Okay, so this just took me to Scooby-Doo directly, which he's just a dog that can talk, right? And some level of minor Toon Force. Okay. Characters. Daphne was the determining factor here, yes? Does she have any level of... Oh, Daphne displayed many abilities such as a black belt in karate. Okay. What's the source? What's New Scooby-Doo? Isn't that the new show? No, that's the good... No, I'm stupid. Sorry, I haven't watched Scooby-Doo in a while. Okay, so karate... We're going to assume karate skills are viable. I will say... Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing that's going through my mind. I think Fred is going to be the determining factor here. Oh. This goes to Mystery Inc. My brain just sort of auto-played this entire scenario in my head. I know exactly how this is going to go. The question that I think needs to be determined here, and there's a few factors, so we're going to go through it in order. First factor, can Fred trap her? Now, she can apparently bend metal bars. We'll get to that in a second. But can Fred trap her? Definitely. Also, if we assume arena neutrality, would they have resources to set up a trap or not? I'm going to say yes, because Fred sets up traps everywhere. Fred sets up a trap in like every single episode, so I'm going to assume, I think reasonably, that Fred will have the resources to build a trap in basically any scenario, right? We assume neutrality, but we don't assume like white void. He's got enough stuff that he can do things with any environment. Anyway, here's where I was going. I got a little off track here because I think this is a very good argument that I'm about to make. Can Fred trap Miss Piggy? I don't know how like smart Miss Piggy is. I don't think that Miss Piggy is notably unintelligent, right? I don't think that's the case. So what would lure Miss Piggy into a trap, right? Miss Piggy's a diva. That's her whole thing, is that she's very sort of jealous. She's a diva. She doesn't want anybody sort of upstaging her or being better than her. And what is another notable trope of Scooby-Doo? Shaggy and Scooby cross-dressing for various forms of bait. They're just gonna dress up and upstage Miss Piggy to lure her into a trap. And that's 100% going to work. And I don't think anyone can say otherwise that is 100% going to work. 10,000% that's going to work every single time. Scooby and Shaggy dress up, do some sort of big thing, bait her into a bad situation. That's 100%. So trap can happen easily. Easily trap can happen. But they'll do it for Scooby Snacks. They have the Mystery Machine. We're putting the Mystery Machine in here, and there's Scooby Snacks on there. In there. Anyway, so yeah. So... The heck? Rube Goldberg. What? Okay. When I clicked the link for overly complicated traps on the Scooby-Doo wiki, I was expecting it to take me to a list of the traps Fred had made, not a failed link to the real Wikipedia website for Rube Goldberg. That's not what I thought that would do at all. Anyway, so we can establish 100% that Miss Piggy can get trapped. That is definitive. That's maybe one of the most definitive things we've ever said in this court. The question is, can Fred set up a trap that can hold her? And that I don't know. I would love to see some level of list of what traps Fred can make. I hate this design. This design is awful. Now, I know someone's going to suggest this. I can look at episode summaries, right? I can look at episode summaries to see what traps Fred makes. But that's going to take a while. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to try to find this should be quick. We're going to try to find a strong monster. A strong monster, see how Fred trapped it. We're going to use as a baseline, I think, What's New Scooby-Doo? Because I think that's just the best baseline for Scooby-Doo. Some people might disagree with me there, but I think What's New Scooby-Doo is a very good one. So, let's see. Which of these sounds like somewhere? A large dragon at large. Sounds great. Look at this episode summary here. Great. Insert details here. That's wonderful. Thank you. Okay. Let's look at maybe the article about the monster. We'll say what happens. You know what? I'm just going to assume that he can trap because I think that's reasonable. What are we defining as hold? As in, can hold her for a minute? Or is the criteria that you can't escape? The criteria that we have always gone with on this show and that we are going to continue going over with in the future is I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Ability to kill. Not necessarily kill, it is ability to kill. So long enough that they could, shoot her. Something like that. It does not have to be an extended trap. It just has to be long enough that they can use that opportunity to take her out. And I think that they do. Also, yes, before people say, we're explaining the nuance of that. Assuming bloodlust is like a weird thing with power scaling, so we don't do that. I like the assume ability to kill, because it's like, yeah, they're going to trap her and they're going to try to hold her till the police arrive. And that might be long enough that she can escape. But that's why we go to ability. If they can trap her long enough to defeat her, even if they don't choose to do that, that counts as a victory for the purposes of this court. So, I think, given the very clear and obvious ability of Mystery Inc. to trap Miss Piggy for at least a moment, they don't have to hold her for long. They just have to trap her. And I think in that case that they are perfectly capable of that, using tropes that they are very, very familiar with. Therefore, the court rules in favor of Mystery Incorporated. Pretty simple, actually. I thought that one was going to be more complicated, but then, like I said, my brain sort of auto-filled that ending, and it was right. It was right. Pretty simple. Battle 6. We are on track to do at least 10 today, which is great. Let's see how things go. They hit her with their car. Yeah, it's Do, Rogers, Jones, Blake, and Dinkley. I think it would just be Mystery Inc., right? Because that's an organization, Like, if a company is being sued, you don't list the last names. I'm not a lawyer. I've taken one law class, so I know I would say more about law than the average person, but not by much. Anyway, Scooby-Doo has been my hyperfixation since I was a kid. I have far too much knowledge of the show. I've seen all of Mystery Inc. That's a good one. Buzz Lightyear the toy. Probably shouldn't have put this on the list. This is from episode 1 of Very Serious Battles, in which I didn't really have a great baseline for what this show is going to become. So this one is probably going to be very easy and very fast. Let's see how things go. Be interesting. Also, I'm looking at the view. I need to figure out a way to spice this show up, because the views are starting to dip a little bit. I wonder how I can do to spice this show up. I'll think. Anyway, Buzz Lightyear toy versus this is gonna be a really quick one. Thank God. Thank God I rolled this one on one where I don't think I have to research anything. I was dreading putting this character on the list because I didn't want to have to research. And I don't think I have to. Because Ebony, Darkness, Dementia, Ravenway does have some form of magic. Yes? Does have some form of magic. Whereas Toy Story might have magic. Never really explained. But not magic in any sort of offensive case. I am going to, instead of typing it in, I'm going to just copy-paste it from the wheel, and I didn't copy-paste it without formatting, and I'm really tempted to leave it like that because it fits the vibe, but I'm going to not do that. And we're going to just not. See, it's a rare case in which a definitive battle turns out to be easy and funny. The court rules in favor in the case of Lightyear v... I guess just Lightyear v. Way. Not as complicated as it could have been. Lightyear v. Way, the court rules in favor of Way. I think this one's probably settled out of court. But there is a definitive winner and a definitive loser. I don't really know what happens to Buzz, but if we assume that Miss Way has some level of ability to, or ability of access to the Harry Potter suite of spells, let's call it, and probably some other made-up things, I say as if Harry Potter spells are also not made up. We're gonna assume that she can handle this. She can handle this. Battle 7. Easy. We're definitely on track to get over 10. She's a vampire. Is she? I don't know these things. Oh, good. We're back to Shark Boy and Lava Girl. We are back to Shark Boy and Lava Girl with Mr. Electric. We're really just hitting pretty much everybody from Shark Boy and Lava Girl over the course of this series. Hunter's Moon or Soldier from the current Moon Knight run, your choice. I choose Hunter's Moon, and I say Moon Knight, but 50% more emo. 60% more emo. Sorry, let me be more accurate. All right, Mr. Electric versus Woody Woodpecker. Woody Woodpecker being a Toon Force character, I do believe. I'll need to confirm that, but we will confirm that when the first character is researched. Being a character from a singular movie, this should not be difficult to figure out. Don't know why I just googled Mr. Electric. That is a real electrician. Here we go. Mr. Electric. We're assuming the imaginary version, by the way, not the real guy version. Probably didn't need to clarify that, but I did anyway. All right, Mr. Electric, the main antagonist of the Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Don't know how... Oh, I was about to say I don't know how long this wiki is. Not anything. If anything, Hunter's Moon is less emo. No. He's more sane, but he's more emo. More sane, but also more emo. Okay, let's see. So, now this is... Woody Woodpecker is a Proud Boys dog whistle? What? If that's the case, I was not aware of it at all. But also, those dipshits have so many dog whistles that they lose all meaning. Now, there's not a lot of info in this wiki, so what we're going to do is going to look at the plot summary for the movie. That should pretty much cover what we need to. It's not just a movie. It's a whole... Did I say it was a movie? I meant to say it was a Toon Force. I don't know if I said movie. Whatever. Okay, let's see. Mr. Electric, the Dream World's ruler of Dream World is notable, and now corrupt electrician. He attacks them with presumably lightning powers. Mr. Electric flies to Earth to kill Max, creates a tornado storm. Just a big lightning and powerful guy, right? He has plug hounds. Oh, well, do we assume minions? I don't know what the rule is for that. I mean, let's look at these. Great, thank you. Dog, hound like plug monsters. Okay, they're just wires, but they look like dogs. Oh, here's some images. Okay, you know what? He can have a few of these. It's not a very good image, but actually, that's a cool monster. That's actually a pretty cool for the Shark Boy and Lava Girl bar. Which good. The bar is good, but still. All right, now I know we haven't done a ton of research on the Mr. Electric, but I think we all probably get the gist. Here. So, Woody Woodpecker. And if I Google it and see a lot of right-wing stuff, we're going to move on. I am not. So, we're going to... yeah, I'm not seeing anything of that. So, we're just not going to worry about it. Woody Woodpecker, the animated character. See, this is just a Toon Force one. This is why I've tried to go away from, like, classic cartoon characters, because a lot of them are just, like, pretty standard Toon Force. And those are just not as interesting once you've done, once you've done a few of them, they kind of become they become very similar. I do think, I think we're just gonna, I think I can do a pretty quick ruling on this case, and then we're just gonna move on to one that's more interesting, because I think we can assume that Toon Force is at least comparable to, like, the power of imagination or whatever, which is Max's main ability in Shark Boy and Lava Girl. He can dream, and he has imagination powers, and then he can sort of warp reality from that. And I think that's probably enough to beat Mr. Electric on behalf of Woody Woodpecker. I know that was a super quick and boring fight, but again, Toon Force characters, we've kind of played them out. We've played them out. So we're just going to rule in favor of Woodpecker in the case of Electric v. Woodpecker. And we're going to move on to Battle 8, because I don't want to spend too much time on ones that are not interesting. That's how the episodes get boring. So we're going to move on pretty quick. I think everyone's probably going to be fine with that. If not, feel free to tell me, but I'm not going to change anything. Okay, so could Woody break Mr. Electric's glass dome? Probably. I don't know. He's got Toon Force. Woody Woodpecker, it's just Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, the same as all those. Let's spin this wheel for battle. I already forgot. 8. Battle 8. Battle 8. Another Tim Allen? That is 3 Tim Allens. Three Tim Allens in one episode. There's another episode title buried deep within there. Mr. Scott Calvin himself. How did we hit all? There are 3 Tim Allens on this wheel out of 100 characters. The fabled Triple Allen. 3 episode name 3 Tim Allens. I think 3 Tim Allens is probably gonna, yeah. It was gonna be like Tim Allen hard counters car, but I think 3 Tim Allens is better. How did we get all 3 Tim Allens on this wheel in one episode? Actually, wait, hold on. I was gonna say Hatcher, but he won and then he lost. This is gonna be the tiebreaker. This is the Tim Allen played characters tiebreaker. Let's see how he goes. I kind of hope he gets his ass kicked. Oh God, Flint Lockwood versus Santa. I like this. I like this one. Flint Lockwood versus Santa Claus Santa. God, I cannot. I haven't eaten enough food today, and it is having a toll on my ability to talk, and I have such a busy week. I'm so stressed this week, guys. My brain is fried, and 3 Tim Allens is not doing anything to help. Okay, this is going to be an interesting one to research, because I don't need to explain why. We're just going to start. If I Google Scott Calvin, is the Santa Claus going to be the first thing that comes up, or is it going to be a real guy named Scott Calvin? It just says Santa Claus. Okay. Show of hands, metaphorical show of hands. Who here has seen the Santa Claus movies? And if you don't know what that means, you haven't seen them. Who here has seen the Santa Claus movies? Zap says he didn't know Scott Calvin's on the list. That is true. That is because he is new. Scott Calvin is a featured article, which means it has been identified as one of the best articles produced by the Disney Wiki community. No, wrong. There's a whole movie that's blank. What do you mean this is one of the best articles on the Disney Wiki? Wrong. Anyway, yes, I have too many times. They ruined them with the show. Oh, yeah, because they made the show, wasn't the show, weirdly right-wing? No. The show wasn't right-wing, but, the fan base. I'm sorry, this is a rabbit hole. I think the show wasn't actually as right-wing as you do. Maybe it was. I don't know. Someone will answer. We're not going to worry about this, mostly because I'm going to be honest, I don't care. I don't care. We're going to take this as the movies, mostly because I don't want to. No, it had weird right-wing overtones. What happened? This is not for the court case. This is not for the court case. I'm just curious. What was the controversy for the show? I believe it. I believe it was there. Anyway, for anyone who has not heard of the Santa Claus, because there's some people who haven't. There's some people who have not, right? The Santa Claus is a hell of a concept. It's a hell of a concept, which is basically that this guy named Scott Calvin, who's a uptight toy salesman who only cares about money and business and bad things and capitalism for this being a right-wing thing later, it is pretty anti-capitalist. He accidentally scares Santa Claus off his roof. He hears Santa Claus on his roof and is like, oh my god, someone's breaking into my house. And so he goes outside and sees Santa on the roof and is like, hey, get down from there. And Santa falls off the roof and fucking dies in the first 15 minutes of the movie. Once Santa dies, his death triggers a sort of curse in which the person who killed Santa thus undergoes this physical bodily transformation and becomes the next Santa in the line of succession. As like a sort of inverted Doctor Who regeneration, in which instead of the same guy regenerating into different people, it is different people turning into the one guy every time. It's not killing Santa, putting on the suit. Okay, fine. If you put on the dead Santa's pants, then you turn into the new Santa. It's very weird. It's a very weird concept. And by the way, as people in the chat who have seen this movie will confirm, I'm not exaggerating there. That is not me making a funny bit for Twitch. They don't refer to it as a curse. Maybe Scott Calvin does very briefly, but they don't refer to it as a curse actively. But it is. It is. The show is... Oh, wait, this is interesting, Saint says. The show establishes that Santa chose Scott as his successor when Scott was a kid, and then Santa died at Scott's house on purpose. That's wild. Also, the show came out in 2022, and this movie was in, the late 90s, right? The late 90s or early 2000s. Hold on. Let me find out. I'm going to call it as 1998. That's my call. Oh, wait, no. 1994! Wow, a little older than I thought. Okay. So, the first one was 1994, the second one was 2002, and the third one was 2006. So, what is that? 28 years? 28 years after the original, they said, maybe it's weird that this guy got randomly cursed to be Santa. Maybe we should confirm that happened beforehand. But we're not going to worry about that. Anyway, point is, he gets cursed, he becomes Santa, and then he, learns to love it. But the powers are what we're talking about here. So, he is afforded magic. He has all the Santa powers that you would expect. And that's a pretty big range of things. The second movie actually is what we need to be looking at, right? The Mrs. Claus. The thing where he has to find a wife so that the wife will get absorbed into the same curse. It's a bad concept. He has a limited amount of magic that he could use outside of the North Pole, right? But I don't remember if that... Yeah. So because he isn't married, the curse starts to be broken, actually. So I've never actually... Quick sidebar, chat. What you're watching right now is a man who grew up watching the Santa Claus movies as a kid, all three of them, now for the first time have to explain the concept to an audience, a full audience of people, some of whom have never heard it before. And I think you can probably see in my eyes the realization of the what the fuck realization that's happening here. And it's yeah, this is going to take me a second because this is the first time in 22 years that I am in this position. Gnarly says, well, now you've blown my mind, Ebony. Is Ebony, I'm aware, I know Ebony and you. Is Ebony speaking through you, Gnarly? Anyway, so God, this is such a rabbit hole. This is going to be a really long fight. I'm glad it's not going to be a long fight. It's going to be long because I'm going to be here explaining the Santa Claus for a while. Saint has just dropped another piece of information here. Another thing the show establishes is that there was never a Mrs. Claus before Carol, because Scott was the first Santa who was human before becoming Santa. So wait, what? No more information from the show. That is information I am not mentally prepared to take in right now. We're not handling that. Yes. We're together to see Nathan. Oh, nice. Have fun. Have fun. Okay, so I'm sorry, we have to get back on track because I have to get through all this, and it's going to take me so long because of just the dark realizations. Do you guys just want me to summarize all 3 Santa Claus movies really quick? I think this is enough. We can take a quick sidebar from the main point. Should I just summarize all 3 Santa Claus movies? Okay, so no wiki. Screw the wiki. I've seen these movies enough. I have most of them memorized. Concept, like, overarching plot-wise. So, Santa Claus 1, Scott Calvin. Also, a quick note. We're not going to worry about the movie. The movies are the whole separate thing. I don't know the continuity. Not the movies, the shows. You can see how much my brain is breaking. It's been a while since Very Serious Battles has hurt me. And we're getting back to that energy. So, the Santa Claus 1, Scott Calvin. Bad toy salesman. Good at selling toys. Bad at being a father and husband. Accidentally kills Santa Claus. Puts on his pants. Delivers the toys, gets cursed, slowly has this transformation into Santa, and then is just like, all right, cool, I guess I'm Santa now, and accepts it, and that's very beautiful, and he starts bringing toys to everyone all over the world, or whatever. I pretty much already got everything in that movie. Santa Claus 2. Scott Calvin, now having been Santa for a bit, I think a few years at this point, starts... They call it desantification, which is a hell of a word that they just made up. They call it desantification, and he's losing all of his powers, which is bad because if he desantifies, there won't be a successor. There will not be a new person to bestow the curse. The curse just sort of vanishes, and there's no Santa for kids. At this point, Scott Calvin has basically gotten Stockholm Syndrome for his own curse and doesn't want that to happen. And so he needs to go and get married. He needs to go and find a wife because there's the Mrs. Claus at the end. By the way, in case no one picked this up or noticed, it's Santa Claus with an E, like Claus in the legal sense. Very fitting for this series. So he has to go get married, and he goes home with like his limited amount of magic that he has to assist him on his journey, and he hooks up with his son's principal. who's like the uptight businesswoman, because this is in the early 2000s, and she's like the uptight businesswoman who's serious, no nonsense, and then Tim Allen, funny guy, comes in and helps her break out of her shell with kind of weird innuendos, and then they get married, and she doesn't transform, she doesn't turn old, because again, this is in the early 2000s, and we can have the male characters turn into Santa, but if the attractive female characters change, we can't have that because early 2000s. So, also, Amy, thank you for pointing out, she actively doesn't like Christmas. I think we probably all assumed that because it's an early 2000s Christmas movie. So, he hooks up with his son's principal, and then she becomes the new Santa Claus. Another really important thing that is introduced in this movie is the Council of Legendary Figures. I'm about to blow your minds, chat. You guys know that movie, like Rise of the Guardians? Legend of the Guardians? I think it's Rise, whatever the one is. It's basically that. It is Mother Nature, Father Time, Cupid, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, Sandman, Santa, and later Jack Frost. Dear Lord, we'll get to Jack Frost in a second. Rise of the Guardians, thank you. So yeah, there's also all of these other figures. They do stuff, I guess. They all exist. They don't do anything important. They are plot devices for Santa. But there's the Council of Legendary Figures. At the end of this, it's fine. He does his whole thing. He becomes Santa again, and the wife is now Mrs. Claus. His whole thing. Santa Claus 3. This is where... Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot a really important plot point of 2, which is that while he is... Just the things I hold on. Oh, there's an ad break. No. Oh shit! I would have delayed it if I could have. Damn it! You just described all the characters of the Guardians books. I'm sure I did. I read it off the wiki. That they're the same in both of them. They are the same in both of them. I'm sorry. I would have delayed the ad break if I could, because I'm about to say maybe one of the wildest things in the whole franchise, and it just gets wilder from here. And I have to wait. We have to be patient for 30 seconds because I didn't notice the ad break while I was on my sort of fugue state about ranting about the Santa Claus movies. So we're waiting for 30 seconds so that this is fair. Yeah, Archie's already beaten me to it, and if you guys don't want spoilers, don't read it in chat. 17 seconds here. 15, 14, I'm not going to count down. Trust me, I promise you this is worth it. This is something that happens in Santa Claus 2. We haven't even gotten to the third one yet, and the third one's even weirder. Okay, the ad break is done. Sorry, people who were on ads. I did pause while the ad break was going, so you didn't miss anything, because I would have delayed it if I had noticed, but I didn't notice, so... This is still Santa Claus 2. So, while he's going to go find a wife in the mortal world or whatever, not the North Pole, it's around Christmas, because of course it is. This is a Christmas movie, and that means he can't leave his post, because things need to get done. So what he does is he creates a toy replica of himself. He makes an automaton of Santa that does just kind of become a fascist. We need visual aids. We need visual aids because I need you guys to understand how little I am joking. I need you to understand how the level of serious that I am being when I say this. So this is what he looks like at the beginning. He just kind of looks like a plastic Santa. Like a weird plastic Tim Allen. And apparently this wiki does not have the image of what I needed here, but you need to see it. Santa Claus 2 Toy Santa. Ah, there he is. There. If you guys thought I was kidding, if you guys thought I was joking for even a half of a second, let me assure you, when I said fascist Santa, I absolutely 100% meant in the most literal possible sense. He becomes a fascist, and he creates an army of toy soldiers and takes over the North Pole. And, like, subjugates all the elves into slavery, basically. And so Tim Allen comes back with his wife and is like, oh my god, now Santa is controlled by this fascist plastic man, and we have to stop him. I'm not expecting that to Spider-Man. Yeah, I didn't think you were. I didn't think anyone was. So that's 2. Tim Allen kind of just gaslights this woman into becoming his cursed wife and then fights fascist plastic Santa. 3. Now we're in Santa Claus 3. Let me go back to my big camera. Let me get this off your screen here. Okay, so Santa Claus 3. Santa Claus 3 is about the in-laws, because this is the mid-2000s, and oh, my in-laws are bad. It was fully, it was the time, right? It was part of the time. So his cursed wife's parents want to come to the North Pole. And because everything is stable and fine here, he invites like a whole bunch of people. So his cursed wife's parents and his ex-wife, Santa's ex-wife, his human wife, and his ex-wife's new husband and their son, and like their cousin. No, not their cousin. What's the full roster? The roster of Santa Claus 3. It is his in-laws, both of them, his ex-wife, his ex-wife's husband, his son that he had with his ex-wife, and then his ex-wife and her husband's daughter. So that's the whole family. Whole family comes to the North Pole. There's an extended bit where they don't want the family to find out that he's Santa, and so they try to play it off that he is an owner of a toy company in Canada. Shout out to any Canadians in the chat. The joke's, if you imagine in your mind what you think a 2006 movie joking about Canada would be, you nailed it. You probably got it word for word. As this is happening, Jack Frost Jack Frost shows up. And he is pissed that Scott Calvin has the Santa powers. He's a greedy little bastard, played by Martin Short, best part of the whole franchise. Love Martin Short. He's great. But he wants to take the Santa powers for himself because he's mad that, like, Santa is, like, the winter guy. He's the iconic winter guy. He wants it to be Jack. He wants it to be him. So he starts manipulating everybody. And they do this big lore drop where they reveal this thing called the Hall of Snow Globes, where every Santa in the past gets this magic snow globe that is hidden inside the workshop. There's this magical room inside the workshop that has all these snow globes. And Martin Short gaslights Santa's, not stepdaughter. What would the word be? I actually don't know what that word is for, like, daughter of your former partner's new marriage. There's probably not a word for that. I'm just gonna say daughter, but no, that's what I mean. Gaslight Santa's daughter into somehow revealing this thing, and then he takes the snow globe and apparently finds out that if you can make... God, this is so hard to explain. If you can get Santa to hold his snow globe, his magical snow globe, and wish that he never became Santa, it rewrites time. Oh, the mental breakdown I am having trying to explain this to people who haven't seen it. So Jack Frost steals the snow globe. He secretly gives it to Scott Calvin, Santa Claus, and tricks him into saying, "I wish I'd never become Santa," at which point they get sucked through a time portal to the moment in the first movie where Santa dies. Jack Frost then runs over and takes the jacket of Santa Claus and puts it on before Scott Calvin can. And so he has changed this sort of fixed point in time, and from there they get, like, teleported back to the present, but in an alternate future, right? In an alternate future where Jack Frost is Santa and has changed the North Pole into a capitalist hellscape theme park. And when I tell you it's a capitalist hellscape, I mean they go so hard on the symbolism to the point where there's, like, loudspeakers that are like, "Remember, kids, ask your parents to buy you more merch." Like, it's so literal. Now, this is a little continuity thing that's very weird. When he changes the past, when Jack Frost, I want to call him Iceman, that's wrong. When Jack Frost changes the past, Scott gets, like, immediately jumped forward to, like, his new reality in the future, but it's implied that, like, Jack has just been living through these, like, 10 years himself, even though that's not what's shown. But whatever. So there's a whole musical number. It's probably not what anyone was expecting me to say, because this is not a musical. This is not a musical franchise, but there is a whole musical number in this part where Jack Frost sings a parody of Welcome to New York, but it's the North Pole. I believe that's what the song is. Or no, not Welcome to New York, New York. That's it. It's North Pole, North Pole. That's it. He sings an entire parody of New York, New York, but it's North Pole, North Pole. At which point, Scott Calvin tackles him. Now human alternate future Scott Calvin tackles him and, like, tricks him into saying a thing with the snow globe again. He pulls the same trick, but Uno reverse cards. And then they get sent back to the real timeline and everything's fine. And that's the movie. And and then apparently there was a show that I have not seen, but it had weird right-wing undertones. Anyway, that is the plot of the 3 Santa Claus movies. How does Scott remember he's supposed to be Santa? That's a great point. I don't know. I guess it's because he went back in time too, and then just sort of got time jumped in. Like, when I say they skip forward in time, I don't mean there's a time skip. I mean, like, he gets, after Jack takes the Santa coat and becomes Santa, Tim Allen gets like time warped back to the present, but like he had been living there the whole time. It doesn't make sense. Don't forget. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. And then the final thing that happens in the Santa Claus 3 is that the little girl hugs Jack Frost because she has the power of warm hugs. Not me joking. That's the literal line that they say. And so she turns him into like a warm guy and makes him nice, and that's the end of the movie. I really don't know what to tell you from there. That's what we're dealing with. Those are the Santa Claus movies. Here's Fascist Santa again. Let me get rid of that. Again, I'm sure to anyone who hasn't seen these movies, you're probably so wildly confused. But as the people in the chat who have seen the movie will confirm, I think I did a pretty damn good job of summarizing those. Like, that was not me doing a bit where I was like exaggerating the plot points. That was me giving you a faithful retelling. A faithful retelling of the high points of the Santa Claus movies. Genuinely. Oh, anyway, yeah, and there is a character, as several people have mentioned in chat, there's a character in the first one named Bernard, who is objectively the best. He is the one reasonable person in the entire movies. I think that actor has like actually done something recently, right? Let me look him up. What's that dude's David Krumholtz. He's done something, right? He was in Oppenheimer. What? What? Hold on. Oppenheimer? Oh my god. That was not what I was expecting at all. Oh, everything started lagging so badly when I was... Okay. I'm sorry, I have to look at his filmography really quick. I have to. Oh, he's been... Okay, you know what? He's still been active. I wasn't sure, actually. He was in Star versus the Forces of Evil? One episode? Okay. Sorry, I know this isn't something anyone cares about, so I'll be quick here, because you only care about this if you've seen the movies. Yeah, I had never seen him in anything, but he's still, like, actively acting. He's in a whole bunch of stuff. And has been consistently, according to his IMDb. His name's, I don't think I actually said his real name. What is it? Oh, no, David Krumholtz. I said that. But yeah, he was in Oppenheimer. Okay. All right. Good. You know what, David Krumholtz? Shout out to David Krumholtz. He is the best part of the Santa Claus series. I hope he's doing well. Genuinely. I hope you're doing well, David Krumholtz. Oh my, wait. Saint says, final lore bomb from the show. It establishes there was a mad Santa during the Dark Ages who was turned into Krampus. I want to end the episode. I have so much to do. I just want to end the episode here. What time is it? 2:25? No. I mean, we're not even done with this fight. We went on a tangent for like 20 minutes of just Matt summarizes the Santa Claus movies. But I think by doing that, I pretty much did all the research we need to. Flint Lockwood. Oh my god. We're going to assume that Flint has access to all of his inventions. I assume he has access to all of his inventions. Though more... Speaking more directly, any inventions that he has control over. So he does not have the Flimsdim the Fur, because he doesn't have control over that. But anything that he has used actively, he definitely has. Let's see. Surely there's got to be a list of the devices that Mr. Lockwood has made. Yes. Incredible. Oh my god, Incredible Characters Wiki! That's just what this episode needed. Oh, Incredible Characters Wiki! This one went off the rails. No. I don't have the mental capacity for Incredible Characters Wiki right now. I do not. Oh, let's go, Archie. Thank you. Flint Lockwood's inventions. Wedgie-proof underwear, spray-on shoes. These are really powerful. Spray-on shoes is basically an indestructible sealant. This is very good. Presumably, you can just spray this over somebody's mouth and they die. Remote control television's nothing. Monkey Thought Translator's nothing. Rappers, Hair on Boulder. Cloudy the series. There's a series? I genuinely didn't know there was a series. They make series out of anything. Okay, let's see. There's a whole bunch. Sound powered by wind. Change the taste of food. Detect trash. When did they make a series? When did they do this? And apparently he's on good terms with the Flim. Oh, you know what? He is on good terms with the Flimsden the Fur. Wow, there's so much here. Who's texting me? Nikhil. I'll respond to him later. This is a whole... I mean, I'm kind of... Visible coffee table, grocery deliberator, freeze ray, Flint Lockwood food jungle topographical, probably, pointing machine. So the question is, does Flint Lockwood have enough tech to beat the inherent magic of Santa? I want to note this. This is, I think, important. The thing that was used to create Toy Santa, external device. This is not something that was made on Santa's own power. He used a big machine to do this. So we are not going to assume that he has any sort of access to Fascist Santa or the creation of the toy robots. Meaning that Lockwood definitely does have better numbers. So I'm inclined. Spray on shoes is so incredibly strong. Seriously, spray on shoes, incredibly powerful item. And if he has the Flimsden the Fur, which I think I'm pronouncing slightly differently every time, but I also think that's probably accurate. Yeah, I mean, I think it is reasonable to assume that Flint Lockwood wins. Santa's magic in the Santa Claus movies is really ambiguous because there is one time when he actively uses magic, like in a quick context, right? Like not like magically creating toys or anything like that. There's one time when he uses magic, and when that happens is in the second movie. It's just like he has a limited well of magic that he can use to just do straight up miracles. And I don't believe the limits of that are ever stated, but what I will say, and I think this is believable enough, he only uses his magic for Santa-related things. Now, can we assume that he has the ability to do magic other than Santa-related things and only does Christmas-related stuff because he's Santa? I don't know. I think it is a reasonable assumption for that to be the case, right? I think that's reasonable to be the case, is that he can only do Christmas-related stuff. So, I think, and I'm very happy to say this, because I didn't want Tim Allen to get his second W of the night. I think we're going to rule in favor of Lockwood. In the case of Claus? Calvin? Claus. In the case of Claus v. Lockwood, the court ruled in favor of Lockwood. Mostly because of spray-on shoes. Spray-on shoes are insane. In the third movie, during the birth, he has super speed. I didn't even mention the birth. He has a kid. He has a kid in the third movie. It's not important, though. It's a C plot. It's a C plot. Oh, this one hurt. This one hurt me psychically. Flint Lockwood. Flint Lockwood. Whoop, hold on. Let me get that fully bolded there. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, we did it. Okay, I know I said no more lore about the show. Saint, does the kid matter in the show? Surely the kid is like a plot point in the show. Zap Shelf Showcase for newest book. Oh, bud. It's old. It's probably like... See, I don't even know what's newest because I haven't organized my stuff in like months. When I tell you I've been horrible about comic books. Not these. Newest book should be so easy. It's unfortunately not. Is it on the shelf already? Whoops. Oh, wait, it might actually be this. I think this is probably newest. It's the Magic Volume 4. Magic Volume 4, Jed MacKay. An older book, but one that I just picked up slightly more recently. Okay, there's that. He has 2 young kids. He has 2 kids in the show. But no more Santa Claus. No more Santa Claus. Next battle. I have so many texts to respond to. I'll do that as we're spinning. Oh, we got to move on. Okay, hold on. There we go. Oh, good. Captain Underpants. That's energy I'm happy with. That is energy I'm very happy with. Captain Underpants versus. Let's not waste this one. Come on, Wheel. Come on. Don't waste this one. This is a very good one on the wheel. Don't waste it. Ooh, it is not wasted. It is not wasted at all. Schnitzel from Chowder. Rada. All right, Captain Underpants. Now, I'm going to establish one thing right off the bat. 2 things, actually. Number 1, books. Books, Captain Underpants, not the movie. And secondly, after he gets actual powers. This is Captain Underpants after he gets powers. If you are not familiar with Captain Underpants, originally, he does not actually have powers. He just thinks that he does because he has been hypnotized. He does, however, actually get powers later in the series. And for the sake of this being interesting, post-powers. The movie is also good. I'm not going to say the movie's bad. But the powers are going to be better. Or the comics, the books are going to be better. Tra-la-la versus Rada. Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay, so, powers. That's what we got to talk about. If you're not familiar with Captain Underpants, fantastic book series. I love Dave Pilkey. That man knows how to be a profitable cartoonist in an ethical way. Which, and if anyone's curious, just keep making good books. I love Dave Pilkey for... He is part of, like, the children's author category that I respect, along with, what's the guy that does Diary of a Wimpy Kid? Where it's just like, he found something that works and just does that. And that good for him. Alright, so, for those who are not familiar with this character, I kind of got off track there. He is originally a high school principal who gets hypnotized by these 2 kids to believe that he is their comic book character that they made, Captain Underpants. Originally, he just believes that he has superpowers and kind of fails upward because of that. However, he does get powers later from, I'm not going to lie, I don't actually remember what. We're going to find out, though, pretty easily. There's a billion of these books, by the way. There's a ton of them. Yes, depending on the media, Captain Underpants either gets his superpowers from drinking a carton of extra strength superpower juice. That's it. Extra strength superpower juice. Jeff Kinney, yes, thank you. Diary of Wimpy Kid, I think the author is probably a good guy, but those books suck ass. Probably just because you've outgrown them. Those books were fine. Maybe they're less good now, but they were good. Anyway, so, powers. Superhuman strength, flight, wedgie power, laser vision, superhuman durability. That's basically it. He's got, like, Superman light type powers. I'm sorry. I love, and I'm going to read this in the exact way that it's written. Don't think I'm doing an accent and being offensive here because it's the Americanized version. Superhero Pantsu Man. That's pretty great. I do love Superhero Pantsu Man. That's great. I love that they just write it like that. It's so funny. Like, you guys see Japanese translations where it's like they write it with the accent. It's just English, but in the accent, and then they write the accent into the word. Why is that a thing? Because that is an actual thing. It's not just like people being rude. Like, that's an actual thing that happens. Why is that? Does anyone know? Anyway, his weakness is starch, by the way. I believe that does get undone later, and I don't think it's going to matter in this fight, so we're not gonna bring it up. But let's see. Oh, Schnitzel. Duh. Captain Underpants' powers are pretty similar. We might look at some of his villains for comparable ideas, but we're going to look at Schnitzel first. Chowder. Schnitzel? If this brings up a recipe, I'm going to laugh really hard. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Does it not have a C in it? Doesn't have a C in it. I wonder if the actual food... oh, it's spelled as both, apparently. Weird. Anyway, Schnitzel from an incredibly good show, Chowder. One of the lower Toon Force characters in the series. Schnitzel is basically just strong and durable. He does not have the, like... I'm sorry, I dropped my gavel. I don't know where it went. There it is. He does not have as much of the, like, shape-shifting or transformative abilities that other Chowder characters often do. He is just strong. That's basically it. There are 3 alphabets in Japan. One of them is basically the English alphabet, but it spells like the word is pronounced. That's why it has the accent. That's fascinating. That's fascinating. It's so interesting. I wonder where that came from. Anyway, that's something to research on my own time. Anyway. Schnitzel is a rock monster. He is made of rock. That is something that is pretty well established. He is able to move normally, but he is just straight up rocks. So... powers include strong. Also, he can only say Rada. Generally, there are exceptions to this, but generally he can only say Rada. Powers. I don't know if powers. The Chowder Wiki doesn't really have a powers section, right? He just has strength. However, interestingly, we do have some level of bar as to what his strength is. We actually do have a thing that we can use to research this, which I have the link up here. I'm going to click it in a second. Amy says it's not an alphabet, that's romanization. I don't know what the difference is, but I'm going to trust Amy on this. The Lead Farfel. What the heck is this? Hold on. Does this wiki have a custom animation for its links? Look at this. I've never seen it. Other wikis don't do that, right? No, this wiki has a custom animation. That's crazy. Oh, I'm surprised. I didn't even know that was something you could do. Weird. Anyway, the Lead Farfel. The Lead Farfel is a giant cube. Big ol' heavy cube. He is a living block of lead. And he is the main measure of strength in Mario Underpants. Wiki I was just on did that. Not this one. Not the Captain Underpants one. I might have seen it before, but I haven't used it. Anyway. Do all the links in this wiki do that? Yeah. Yeah, they do. It's kind of cool. Anyway. This is the bar for Schnitzel's strength, right? He picks this thing up and he lifts it a little bit. Now, he does have Toon Force strength, so it is variable. But here's what we're gonna do something really stupid here because I feel like doing something stupid. Apparently, we're not done with stupid yet today. That is a woman and her baby, right? Stroller size. I guess I should say like average stroller size. Average stroller size is single stroller compare. So wait, we're just gonna click this first one. That seems fine. Come on, give me the dimensions. Give me the dimensions here. It's not giving me the dimensions. Ah, here we go. That's 22 feet. 2 feet. That seems fair. That seems reasonable. Are you doing pixel measurements? Sure, I don't do pixel measurements on this enough. All right, so we're gonna eyeball it. I'm not gonna actually go through and eyeball it because I don't care. But we're gonna if this is actually I guess that is length wise, is it not? That is length, not width. That would mean it's about 41 inches. 41 inches to feet is that's going to be like what 3 point something. Oh shoot, I could do the math in my head, but I don't want to. 3.4. Okay, so 3.4 feet. So if we eyeball this, right? So that's probably like one, comparatively. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. About 14. Is that an accurate measurement? Hell no. I don't care. It is about 14 in length, and it is a cube enough. Might be slightly trapezoidal, but it's cube enough. So 14 strollers. 14 times 3.4. 14 times 3.4. It is 47.6 feet. And then the volume of the cube is very simple. It's just cubed, right? It's just length times width times height. So 47.6 cubed. Of course it's cubed. Duh. Cubed. That means it is about 107,850. Yeah, 107,850 square feet. Cubic feet. Lead farfel, by the way. It's not falafel. You might think it's falafel because the show does food puns. It is farfel. Farfel. Not sure why. Okay, so it is that. So, weight of lead should be pretty easy. Grams per cubic centimeter. So, cubic feet to cubic centimeters. It's a whole bunch of cubic centimeters. And then we're going to need to do that times 11.342. So this times 11.342. That is the weight in, that's, hold on, how many digits is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, no, that's right. Okay. And then we're going to need to convert this. So we're going to need grams to pounds, which works on Earth. We are using Earth standards, even though maybe we shouldn't because this takes place not on Earth. Maybe it has different gravity, but I'm not going to go that crazy with this. That would be a little bit too deep for this. It is approximately 76,364,172 pounds. That seems way too high. But I don't know how much that, like, what, hold on, what? No, okay, that is reasonable, actually. So, yeah, so we're looking at about 76.4 million pounds is how much Schnitzel can lift. And he can lift this sustained. He can lift this and hold it for a bit. He seems to be hollow. From the mouth? The mouth is some Toon Force. The mouth is some Toon Force here. You're presuming solid, he has a mouth cavity. I'm going to presume Toon Force for the mouth. Because he is a big cube. Yes, he might have a mouth cavity that does lose some. So fine. We'll just cut a chunk off. I mean, I don't want to do a percentage count for that, but he's about 76 million pounds. We're just going to say that. We'll round down slightly. 76 million, because the mustache probably adds at least a little bit, right? So, not comparatively, but it's okay. So, Schnitzel can lift that. Captain Underpants, what's his durability? Can we get a pounds amount? I don't think it's a ton. I mean, no, he does have superhuman durability, but what is his strongest villain? Look at this. We have an enemies list. Which of these sounds the strongest? That's clearly not. Oh, good. I can just hover over these and it gives me images. Wonderful. Now you're not going to be able to see this because they're coming up on the side here. The turbo toilet seems maybe viable. Definitely not that. Robo Jord, I think is normal size. Oh no, that ain't normal size. Man, this is bringing me back. I need to go through. Can I find these books online anywhere? I wonder if I can find these online. Melvin, Captain Pandernuts. Oh, Underpants anagram. Man, I haven't read these. Some of these names I just do not recognize at all. Jacked Santa. What the fuck? Not entirely sure what to do with that information. That's... yeah. Okay. I didn't think we were going to get worse than Captain Pandernuts, but anyway. So he does fight a robot. Let's see. He does fight these robots and defeats 2 of them at once. And Schnitzel's durability, not that high. Schnitzel is resilient, but he gets broken a lot. Because it's a cartoon show, he just heals. It's Toon Force, but he gets broken quite easily. I think despite Schnitzel's strength, he actually doesn't have as much durability as you'd think for being a rock monster. I think Captain Underpants probably surpasses it. So therefore, the court is going to rule in favor of, what is his actual last name? And he has one. Krupp. In case of Krupp v. Schnitzel. Does Schnitzel have a last name? With the way that Chowder is, I feel like it's not impossible that they just confirmed his last name at some random point. No, just Schnitzel. Okay, in the case of Krupp v. Schnitzel, the court rules in favor of Krupp. Does broken equal death? It's Toon Force kind of thing. Schnitzel does not seem to have any ability to, like, control his individual parts. So I think it's the closest that we're going to get, so we're going to count it. Battle 10. This is likely going to be the last one of the night. Because we only got 10 minutes left, but I could call it here, but I want to go ahead and get to 10, because why not? So, man, we were really on track to do more than 10, and then we got so off track on the Santa Claus. So, final fight, we're going to do this one kind of quickly, I say before rolling, so who knows what it'll actually be. Let's roll the wheel. Ronald McDonald, a character who I have thought about removing from the wheel subtly, because I don't think he has as many powers as you'd think, but maybe I'll be proven wrong. Should be fairly easy to research. Good one to end the night. Let's roll for his component. Component. What? I think I started as competitor and ended in opponent. That's how I got there. Ronald McDonald versus Scrappy Doo. I think that's actually, yeah, that's solid. That is absolutely solid. Time to pull up Ronald McDonald. Not really sure where I'm gonna... Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna find here. I feel like Ronald McDonald could be some sort of magical entity, or he could also just be a clown. I really don't know which one of those it's going to be. I'm not sure. Close all these. Okay. I don't really want history. I want lore. It might not be on here. He is in books. Ronald McDonald and the Adventure Machine. He's the protagonist of 3 video games. Subversion. Oh, just people talking about how it's a corporate thing. Okay. I'm gonna bite the bullet and I'm just gonna Google Ronald McDonald powers. Is that the laziest way to do this? Yes. But I think it is actually going to be the most helpful in this case, so that's what we're gonna go with. Ronald McDonald powers, Joke Battles Wiki. I don't want to use a wiki that says joke in the title, even if that's what we're doing. I feel like the draw of this show is that we don't do that. So we're going to go to the site of dubious reliability, Heroes Wiki, but it usually works enough for stuff like this. I lied. Powers and abilities, cartoony abilities and magic. Really? Cartoony abilities and magic. Okay? Fuck it. We're going to Joke Battles Wiki. Ronald McDonald powers. And then click the first linky this time. Wiki this time. I'm blurring my words so badly today. Okay. Standard abilities. So many. With his McDonald's logo, he can turn off the moon and the sun. Though these links all appear to be dead. Gravity manipulation, air manipulation, and breath attack. All of these links seem dead, which is unfortunate. But they are going to actual links, so yeah, all these links are dead. Is just Giphy Cat dead? Is that what's happening here? Or are all these users, by pure coincidence, no longer extant? Want to race around the world while I don't want to get copyright struck again. I think commercials are probably fine, but I don't want to risk it. Not at the end of this episode. Created a sentient robot. Yeah, I wish these GIFs had functional links. Did you not get enough diabetes? No. I'm fine. I've had a stressful week, and it's just going to get more stressful for the next 4 days. So my brain is running in 3 directions at once. Anyway, so we're looking at a lot of powers here. We are going to assume, like, can we call capitalism force a thing? Can I coin that term? By which I mean, like, has the ability to manipulate reality in the context of commercials? Is that anything that anyone's talked about? Because it's like Toon Force, but for commercials. And it's not the same. It's capitalism force. Right? Commercial force would also work, but I think capitalism force is funnier. Honestly, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to call it that. I'm going to coin a term in this. I don't know if people will use it, but maybe it's better if they don't. Capitalism force. I just realized I wrote Scrappy Dip instead of Scrappy Doo. I'm going to fix that really quick. Now, Scrappy Doo is an interesting one, because Scrappy Doo is a very sort of tangential character to the Scooby-Doo mythos. I know he fights. He fights. He has higher combat ability, but does he have any sort of magic or Toon Force? Highly energetic and brave. He's the opposite of his uncle. But how good is he at fighting? That's the thing. I think that's important. He's also very strong, as he can run while holding Shaggy and Scooby. Okay, so we're going to assume some level of fight competence. Some level of fight competence here. I mean, Ronald McDonald is going to win, right? Like, I don't know why I'm giving this more thought than it needs to. Scrappy Doo is a dog that fights sometimes. I don't think he's going to win against this magical capitalism clown, right? Capitalism force would be running on the blood of the exploited. Are we going to assume that that's not what Ronald McDonald does? Let's be real for a second, Tintin Woodsman. I think that was kind of my point. Like, that's kind of what I said. Anyway, I don't think we need to spend too much time on this. I do have some announcements that I need to run through that'll take a couple of minutes. So, this is pretty easy. The court ruled in favor of McDonald. In the case of McDonald v. Doo, Ronald McDonald is a weird clown god. Weird clown god takes it. We had some good ones this episode. The promise that not a promise that I made, because it's up to the wheel, but the hope that I went into this episode with of better than last week was, I think, delivered upon. I think this one was better than last week, so I am very, very happy with that. Let me go over some announcements, because there are some things. Nothing too crazy, but a couple of things with D and Dorks especially. So, the big announcement is, this week on D and Dorks, I'm going to present this in a slightly different way than I did in the first, or in the beginning of this episode, because I think I can probably do it better now. This Friday, we do have a D and Dorks episode. It is Outlaws of the Seven. Think of it kind of like an Outlaws of the Seven breakpoint. It is same world. It is kind of connected to the main campaign without being directly part of it. Different characters, guest stars, etc., etc. It is going to be DM'd by me. And that is same time, same place, this Friday. Next Friday, the 29th, I believe, the 29th, is the final episode of Outlaws of the Seven. The 7th main episode, 8th episode in that world. Now, the actual change for you guys is going to be very little. The actual change on your end is going to be basically the same. Same time, same place once again, except it is going to be pre-recorded. It's going to be a pre-recorded episode because we had some scheduling conflicts come up last minute and we didn't want to push stuff too far because of things that are happening in October, which I'll talk about in just a second. But yes, it will be 6 p.m. Central Time on the 29th on the same Twitch channel and everything. It is just going to be a pre-recorded episode, so we're not going to be like talking to chat because there's a chance that I might be in the chat for some of it because I'm going to run it. But like I'll probably be playing Genshin Impact. So maybe I'll see some messages in the chat, but it is going to be the same for you guys. It will go up on YouTube and podcasting platforms in the same way that it usually does. So everything will be normal there. The other slight change that's going to be happening to D&D Dorks is tomorrow we are going to be pre-recording the episode. We're doing the finale tomorrow. Now, the reason I bring that up to you guys is because for the sake of consistent formatting and lowered variables, we're going to be running it on Twitch. But I'm going to be doing it as a subscriber-only stream, which is the closest that we can get to private, basically. To use, the interface and have everything consistent like how it's supposed to, and so that we can check tech and stuff. The easiest way for us to do it is just to do it on Twitch as well, especially since we've had short notice for this, so we haven't figured out another system. That means, technically, if you are a subscriber to my Twitch, you can watch it early. I don't encourage you to do this. I would recommend you don't, but that's just how we're recording it. So technically, it will be possible for you to watch it early. I'm just going to go ahead and say this. If you spoil the episode for people, we will ban you from everything. That includes on my Discord, that includes on the official Patreon Discord, that includes on fan Discords. If we see you spoiling it, which I personally at least will be looking out for, we will ban you from stuff. I don't mean to sound like super strict about that. Well, I do mean to be strict. I don't mean to be mean about it. But such is the nature of having to record the finale a week early, especially since it's only for people who have paid. I don't love that we have to do that. I wish we didn't, but that is just the option that is available to us right now. So that is pretty much the only D&D Dorks announcement I have for Outlaws. And yes, as Amy says, Amy has the power to ban y'all from most everywhere, so tread lightly. Again, we can't ban you from fan Discords, but we can see what you say in them, and then we can ban you from other things. So be warned. And then as for the next D&D Dorks thing, Agents of Hades, October 13th. It is a 3-episode miniseries. I'm going to be DMing. I don't really have any new news to show for it, but since we're talking about the finale of Outlaws, that's the follow-up. There's going to be a week gap on the 6th, and then there will be Agents of Hades starting on the 13th. The other announcement that I have, 2 more of these, sort of, is a Cannon Clash. Cannon Clash is the other thing. It is this Saturday. I have been scrambling to get guests together. Again, stressful week for me. But I do believe I have everything set up for this week's episode of Cannon Clash. Nikhil is going to be coming back to guest host because he's going to save me some time by writing half the questions. Thank you to Nikhil. Go follow him on Twitch if you're not. And the only other announcement that I really have is that my VODs YouTube is going to be updated a little bit. I've been updating stuff consistently. The one thing that has been mixed up, as some people have pointed out in the comments, I accidentally uploaded the Funtime Universe episodes in the wrong order. I'm probably going to go through and fix that tonight or tomorrow. So yes, Funtime Universe episode 6 is up on YouTube, and there's a skipped one. We skipped episode 5, and it's labeled. It's all messed up. It's not the most strict order in the world, but I will be fixing that is the point. So yes, I know that there was a mess up in the order of episodes. I'm working on fixing that. Otherwise, I do believe that is everything. So thank you so much for watching this episode of VSB. I hope you all go and spend your Wednesday night watching the Santa Claus trilogy, because I want you all to understand how little I was joking about all the stupid stuff that I said about it. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Have a good rest of your night. I will see you on Friday for my return to DMing. And I hope you all enjoy. Have a good rest of your night.